Well, g'day footy fans. It's just 4 games ago that these raggies from Athelstone won their first senior flag in a generation. In the process, they denied the league's Club of the Year, Unley Mercedes, a rare triple crown. Today, they're both in the top tier. The Jets flying in for a bit of revenge, the raggies searching for some respect. This is Matchday Live.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Adelaide Footy League Matchday Live. Today's big clash is at the Max Amber Sports Field for the replay of last year's Division 2 Grand Final between Athelstone and Unley Mercedes Jets. Today's live stream is brought to you by Filming Footy, in partnership with Dartfish and Sports Interactive. And now, here's your expert learned commentary team, Phil Herden, Sean Jacko Jackson, and Tony, the coach's coach, Neil. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Voiceover Man. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to
Footy
Max
League.
Amber Sportsfield, a glorious setting for our match day live in the OTR Division 1 of the Adelaide Footy League. You're looking at the Div 2, the B grade game. So you can see the scoreboard there. A bit of one-way traffic in favour of the visitors. In fact, I can't even do the maths. It's the Unley Mercedes Jets, 26 goals, 19. Athelstone there 1-1. I know that equals 7. As said, my name's Phil Herden. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Joined by a great broadcasting team. Thanks to Sports Interactive and Filming Footy, including my co-caller, the voice of the Adelaide Footy League broadcast, Tony Neal. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, Phil and Sean. And geez, mate, you wouldn't think this was the middle of winter, would you? Just absolutely sensational out there.
It's almost like it's not a final. It has that sort of finals feel weather-wise. You've gone through the cold winter and suddenly beautiful blue sky, a nice warm temperature, a bit of a cool breeze. But we'll get all that from our weatherman shortly. Also joining us, providing the expertise in the broadcast, because he's won 4 premierships, also coached the state team 5 times, Sean Jacko Jackson. Good afternoon, Jacko.
G'day, Phil Fabulous Herden. And Tony, the
Coach's
voice.
coach.
Good to be here. Has a little bit of a feel of Goodwood Saints from a couple of weeks ago. Well, last week, with the tree surrounding the green. It's been I'll start again with the tree surrounding the oval. We are in the foothills here, but you're right, Tony Neal. It is a fabulous day for footy. Looking forward to this one. Looking forward to seeing how Athelstone cope with such a young side and how they're able to acquit themselves against an improving Unley Mercedes.
Yeah, definitely a baby Raggies outfit. Then we'll go through that shortly with Tony. Rounding out our commentary crew, no umbrella needed today. Maybe the jacket on occasions. Our intrepid boundary rider, Ben Tippett. Good afternoon to you, Ben.
Afternoon, Phil. How are we, guys?
Good, Benji.
You've got the prime seat today, I reckon, out there in the open air.
It is lovely down here at Max Amber at ground level. It's one of those days you just wish you packed the boots. Not a lot of wind to speak of, probably a slight breeze to the right of screen, but I don't think it's going to affect the game too much. And a lovely 17.7 degrees down here on the Elders weather app.
Nice, mate. We'll get the official weather ground conditions from you shortly, but let's have a look at the 2 teams today. Of course, these are the 2 clubs that battled in last year's Division 2 Grand Final, with victory going to the Ruggies of Athelstone, their first flag in a generation. I think it was 1980. You can see their last 5 years, and they've been up and down, a bit of a yo-yo. They went from Div 3 in 2016 to Div 2 in 2017, a quick visit to Div 1 in 2018, and of course last year the Premiers. So last 5 seasons, a different year, a different division. There's no promotion or relegation this year, Tony, so they're going to be here next year. What are you expecting from the Raggies today?
Yes, well, I've had a quick chat with the coach, and they've got, I reckon there's 7 to 8 new players in this year. They've got another new player playing today, and it's that learning to gel with a new coach and new players. So they're getting to know the coach is getting to know the players, and they're starting to show patches. They had 2 good quarters last week against one of the better teams, Payneham Norwood Union. So if they can continue that on, players to watch would be, we'll come to that in a moment, but there's been 3 or 4 players that have been in the best players every week, and Randa, Stewart, Sanger.
Who?
Sangamano.
Sangamano.
Dom
If you say it quick,
Sangamano.
no one notices if you
And the-
mispronounce.
And the two Davies brothers, so they've got good consolidation. The big out for them today, of course, is Nathan Sermon. So we've heard that he's a late out. And, yeah, look, I think keys to the game for them, the scoring opportunities, obviously, but if they can get it inside their, create some, get it inside their 50 and hold it in, and their ball movement, so it's not a bomb but ball movement, win their clearances, pretty basic stuff, and know when to play speed versus tempo. And I think both teams today, Sean, are going to have speed because of reduced height.
Yeah, well, one thing you will notice if you look at their team and you've done your homework, which you normally would do, Tony, is that the strength lies in their back six. So clearly they're their better players. Now, Sermon's dropped out of that six, so it makes a little bit of a difference, but it is clearly their best part of the ground. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how they're able to... that back six will have got some good experience there, able to combat the running power of Unley. Jets.
And I think Stevens was the other player that's been in the best. And, of course, all of this is brought to you by...
Interchanger, team
there it
selections
is, the paper's blown
and
over.
interchanges through the course of the day. I counted them only about 13 players from last year's premiership side out there this afternoon, and 5 changes, all the outs due to injury.
Yes.
And one of the ins has played 3/4 of the reserves game due to the late withdrawal, due to a calf injury of Nathan Sermon.
Oh.
Best on ground last week. Gee, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. It's a baby Raggy's outfit for sure.
So just on that, that disturbs me. So Sermon's done his calf at training on Thursday night, and has waited till 1 o'clock today to pull out, and that's why they've had to bring a bloke up from the Bees. I mean, why aren't they organised in advance to the bloke doesn't have to play in the Bees?
I'm not sure exactly when Athelstone were told. I do know that they are struggling for numbers just at that C grade level, and there's quite a few veterans, shall we say, coming in at C grade. So maybe they've decided the best way to adapt to that loss is to have someone running in the Bs than the As.
What, because it's going to make a difference in the B grade score? 28 goals, 20 to 1 goal. That is, no, seriously, that is coaching 101. You do not have a bloke pull out unless he's got injured in the morning of the game. If it's a test from what's happened to him on Thursday, then he pulls out Saturday morning and he's replaced Saturday morning. You do not bring a bloke out of the Bs to play in the As. That's making a mockery of the A grade as far as I'm concerned.
And I was going to allude to that 5 minutes ago, Sean, as you started on this little rant. You're exactly right, because this would be something that you wouldn't normally see in Division 1.
No.
A player coming out of playing 3/4 in the B grade having to fill in for the A grade. So, like Phil said, we don't know the timing of things, but if there was a 50-50, as soon as there's that bit of doubt, especially with where you're situated on the ladder at the moment, with all due respect, might be the time to say, well, you have a rest, and we'll set the team up already. It's all your preparation and everything, isn't it?
Oh, just.
And a player of this ilk.
I'm staggered, to be honest with you. To me, that is a reflection on where they're at as a footy club. Without labouring the point, I think that's really poor.
That said, we don't know when the player advised the club that there was an issue. So that would have a big bearing on the extremity of what you're saying. But point taken. So that's the other players to watch today.
Yeah, so Luke Randa, the big captain, number 24 at centre-half forward. So he's a big unit. I interviewed him the other week, and he's the captain, so he's a good size. And the other one is the on-baller, Aaron Stewart, and I reckon there'll be a bit of a ding-dong battle in the middle with Aaron Stewart and some of the Unley Mercedes on-ballers, which Sean will allude to in a moment.
The interesting fact about that is there's 3 Randers playing today.
Correct.
And their father played in the C grade, and the mum's the team manager in the C grade. So they're a fantastic Athelstone family.
You love this family thing, don't you?
I do.
Pre-game. It's
Yeah,
very
I
good, mate. There's a couple of brothers or relatives of some description.
Do your
in Unley
homework,
as well.
Tone. That's what it's all about.
I can see it. Yeah, it's 5 times you've said that now.
Blake, Luke,
You're in a
and
good
Michael.
mood today, mate. Everything all right?
Blake, Luke, and Michael. Jacko
This
has
is
been
gonna be a
putting out
belter.
fires, and he's really fired up to
isn't
get
he?
us up.
What?
You're in for a
Big
fun
fella.
afternoon, folks. Oh, well, let's let Jacko loose as the Raggies B grade have a shot for their second goal at the moment on screen.
Oh, this
Let's
will be
ride
huge.
this.
Let's just
home.
take the kick first, then we'll go to Mercedes in just a second. Sorry, Alejandro. Straight in front, 45 out. Oh,
Bring it home, Phil. Bring it home.
he's there.
Wow.
The Raggies, their second goal of the day, and hear the applause from the crowd around Max Amber Sports Field.
And they're
Oh,
only
we got a
28
replay.
28 goals,
Hey,
19
look,
behind.
Thanks to catch.com.au, a first for our broadcast, our first replay.
Beautiful.
There
Right.
you go.
Oh,
You're
finally-
going to hit a lolly shot for you, Jacko.
Finally, our cameramen are doing their job.
Oh,
All right.
Jacko goes bang again.
Just
I hope
remember,
you're on the ball, Ben.
just remember who's got the kill switch on the mic volume, Jacko. Last 5 years for the Unley Jets, well, you can see spent most of that in Div 2. Did have a quick visit to Div 1 in 2016, the 4 wins. They were the Adelaide Footy League Club of the Year last year, which is open to all 6470 clubs. Their C grade won a flag, their B grade won a flag, their A grade came oh so close to the Triple Crown, but denied by the Raggies this afternoon. And they are 1 win, 2 losses in the OTR Division 1. They defeated Adelaide Uni in round 1 and have lost their last 2. Jacko, your thoughts on... I can't wait now. Your thoughts on Unley
Come on.
Mercedes.
Yeah, I'll go bang on them too.
Oh.
Team of the year. Out of the club of the
Club
year.
of the year.
I don't know how they got that. Troy Hall coached here for about 6 or 7 years and won premiership after premiership. Kane he's come in late, and I know his mum and dad are watching the show today, so hello to Mr. and Mrs. Stewart. And Kane's come in and all of a sudden, Unley Mercedes Jets are club of the year. No, well, I'm only joking. Well done to them and the Stewart family and the steel industry, and I'm up there selling them rags on Monday. Let's have a look at their team, can we?
You're going to get into it, are you?
Can we get that?
Thanks to...
Yes, thanks to Interchanger. They're responsible for our team selections and interchanges, and I'm still a rookie when it comes to identifying our sponsors, but I promise we'll get better at that for the sponsors case. But if you have a look at the Unley Jet side, in comparison to Athelstone, they both played in the Division 2 Grand Final, and it'd be a good work in progress to actually go back and have a look at the 2 teams that have come up from each division and work out, is it the Premier that's going better or the runner-up? And quite often you'll find it's the runner-up, and certainly that is the case here. And it's on the back of 2 things. One, Athelstone lost a good core group of players from last year that have been good clubmen for a long time. And that's part of what happens in footy. There are 11 players today playing for Athelstone that played in the grand final side. So that's half of the side that's gone. Now, in any given year, in any given game, I would always say about 50-50 is not a bad ratio. The problem Athelstone have got is that the players they lost were their better players, or a lot of their better players. Conversely, Unley have managed to keep most of their playing group together and have added it with some really good recruiting. So Tommy Langford, he's been around. He was at Foss Camden last year. Tommy was at Paynham, ex-Nord, North Adelaide, state player. He straightens them up. He gives them a real good focal point, good, strong, big body at full forward. Holiday at centre forward is a good competitor as well. I like, obviously, McEntee's not playing. They sort of been in and out a little bit, Luke, in the ruck. So I believe Tom Finlay has come in late to take his spot. But another one of the pickups they picked up is Dermy. There'll be Eric Brereton. You blokes wouldn't have seen Eric play before. He played a bit at North Adelaide, off the half-back, and can read the play exceptionally well. And Jack Lewis is another one that's come into the side this year. He was a zone representative in the State Country Carnival last year from the River Murray. He mops the ball up beautifully. And then on top of that, they picked up another lady who was in the State Countryside. So that is what you've got to do, boys. When you go up from Division 2 to Division 1, you've got to try and hold your group together, and you've got to add to it. And that's what Unley Jets have been able to do. And I like the look of their side. They've been in most games. The biggest losing margin, I think, has been 5 goals for them. If they win today, they're 2-2. And speaking of Kane Stewart and Michael Dowdy, the coaches there, they believe that they are still a chance to play finals. Do I think so? Probably not. But at 2-2, you're still your season's well and truly alive. And whereas Athelstone, conversely, lose today, they're 0-4, and it's going to be a long 5 weeks.
Yeah, 0-4 with the worst percentage in the comp currently. And yeah, those margins for only 36 points to Rocks at Campbelltown, which is just down the road from here, and 41 points at home to Brighton last week after beating Adelaide Uni by 15. Thank you for that. The 2 teams there comprehensively covered. Let's find out what's happening at ground level thanks to the Elders weather app. Ben Tippett, you almost need to bring the umbrella for a bit of sunshade.
Absolutely. As I said before, it's beautiful down here, Phil. Just running through the Elders weather app, 17.7 degrees today. It says it feels like 15.3, so perhaps not as warm as expected, but it's still a beautiful day for footy. The wind 7 kilometres per hour to the southwest, but it doesn't feel that breezy down at ground level. As I said before, maybe a little bit of a slight breeze to the right of screen, but it shouldn't affect conditions too much. Very, very dry underfoot today. Says 5% of rain, chance of rain, but looking up and around, there's not a cloud in the sky, boys, so I think it's going to be a great day for footy.
Oh, Benji. Beautiful Benji.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Ben. The two teams are out. The siren's gone, so only a few minutes left on this. Well, I did get here early to check out the Oval and
barbecue.
First time I'm here and to
There
find
it
the
is.
food delicacy, and there it is.
Have a
That
look at
is the Kransky special. There's a bit of Kransky there, a bit of onion, a bit of mustard and some coleslaw in a beautiful bun. I think it would cost me $7, the special, thanks to the ladies. And of course we should remember all the people that work in the canteens and behind the bar and the barbecue on a day like today, helping keep the clubs alive is great to see. So if you come down to Athelstone, check out the Kransky. That's a highlight for Athelstone today. Let's get our tips around, Tony.
Just watching the warm-up as well, Phil. They've kicked more goals in the warm-up already than the whole B grade did in 100 minutes thereabouts.
Alrighty.
But that is just a little bit of fun. So, tips would you like?
Yeah, let's go with the tips. Now, Tony, you won last week. I still owe you something.
Yep.
I think the IOUs are going to have to mount up to end of season. So as the winner last week, you get to go first.
Well, my tip would be get down to that barbecue, mate. Those Kranskys look absolutely sensational. Moving into the game, Unley Mercedes Jets on the back of what Sean has wrapped us up with. That was beautiful, Sean.
Thank you.
28 points.
And we might get Ben just to keep an eye on the coin toss should they be doing that soon. 28 points to Unley Mercedes, so
That is
relatively
correct.
close game. Jacko.
Yes, I'm also going with Unley Mercedes Jets. And you know, the Mercedes, just a point of interest, there's probably more than half of their team actually went to Mercedes College, which staggers me because it's not a renowned football school, but they have certainly got a lot great recruiting zone for them.
Absolutely.
They have, haven't they?
The old Camels.
Yeah, is that what they are? The
They
Camels?
were. The Mercedes were the Camels.
Okay. Well, I think the Camels will win today, and they'll win by
Spitters.
95 points.
What's interesting was
Oh,
was that 95. He's got 95. Right, you've got the outlier, I think. And just interesting note that the Unley Footy Club started as the Unley High School Old Scholars.
Right.
Became the Unley Jets merged with. So you've almost got the public school Old Scholars and the private school Old Scholars playing together, sorta.
Yep.
95 points for Jacko. Ben, how did the coin toss go?
Unley won the toss and they're going to kick to the right of screen.
And your thought on the wind? Is that a help, a hindrance?
As I said before, I think there's a slight breeze, maybe a goal, but I don't think it'll play too much.
And your tip and margin?
I think Unley, I'm going to go 45 today. I reckon they'll have a good win.
All right, well, I'm going to go. Unfortunately for the Ruggies, and they would not be surprised by this in the slightest, all four of us are going for Unley Mercedes. I'm going to go for about 62, which gives us some good spacing today, I think.
I actually meant 65, but I just thought, well, bang, let's just...
You're in that mood today. I can't wait to hear you call some footy.
let's just go
Until the
whack.
umpire, when the umpire gives a questionable decision.
Oh,
We're just
look,
gonna-
I'm really dirty on a bloke having to come up for the B grade and play in A grade. I've had to do it myself as a coach, don't get me wrong, but it's not through a bloke getting injured on a Thursday night or not passing a fitness test on a Saturday morning. I don't want to labour the point, but the fitness
We
test
have.
is done at
But
10
we
o'clock.
don't know at what point that injury was sustained and at what point.
No, we
others
do.
have been-
No, we do, Phil.
We do?
I've spoken to the
Oh,
player.
so
He
you
did it on
okay? That's
Thursday
fine.
night.
Just,
Thank you, Jack. I didn't know that bit.
would you have played yourself, Sean? That might have been an opportunity to come off the bench as a player.
I haven't got a clearance through and been 3
Oh,
points.
well, yeah, that's true too.
And what are they paying? It's no money in it.
Oh,
this year.
do it for the money,
Might
mate.
throw,
Here we
might
go
throw the
again.
points scale out of
Never.
balance a bit.
Now, just
Never
while,
ever paid for the love of it, mate.
while the teams are warming up, there's a drink bottle carrier on the ground. Now, we're not allowed to see that today. Sorry,
No, we're
Phil.
not. Yeah, fair point. We'll have to keep a drink carrier watch today. The umpires today, whilst the teams are huddling up, Jason Mounsey and Matthew Raymond on the field, Peter Momelin and Joseph Coella on the boundary, and Bruce Amon and Luke Terry are waving the flags at the goals. Of course, plenty of other games around the OTR Division 1 today. It's a cracking round, actually. Brighton are hosting Prince Alfred. Might be their first game in their new renovated oval. Rocks just down the road here hosting St Peter's. Port District's Payneham Norwood Union. And Adelaide Uni and Goody Saints. One of them has to win. We'll give you scores through the course of the afternoon.
Number 23, big fella there for Unley to the right of screen. Which way are Unley going? Are they going to the right?
To the right, yes.
Yeah, not on our sheet there, number 23.
Okay, the Phantom
Looks
is what I usually call.
Looks like it might be Tom Langford, actually. 23 it is, but I'm thinking that might be Langford. Ben, we might ask you if you can zip over to Unley and just ask who number 23 is when you get a chance, mate.
Yeah, it might be. Unley, of course, are in the alternate strip today. They're normally the home blue. But Athelstone are the home blue today. They're hosting the Unley Jets, and you're with Tony Neal.
So umpire throws it up, and isn't there a size difference between these two ruckmen? And down it goes. Unley, they're away already. Well taken there, but just taking the tackle, taking the ground. So those two ruckmen, number 9 is Jack Holliday, and number 29 is Michael Rander for Athelstone. And Rander is a big, solid lad, just puts his body under the ball there. And number 9, Jack Holliday, is a real... you could just about mix him up into those trees in the back line there, Sean.
Well, he's a young lad. Hasn't played a lot of footy in the ruck, and he's come in. Luke McEntee obviously out of the side late today. And he hasn't actually come into the side. Tom Finlay's come into the side. And I think you'll find 24 will probably be Tom Finlay that was named at full forward. And the coach told us he'd be in the ruck. So, Kane Stewart, you're away to a bad one with us. Athelstone now comes through the middle of the ground, Phil.
All right, so we'll bring it out towards the broadcast side. They've got the ball. They've got the mark on centre wing. Can they have the first forward 50 of the game? This is with Alex Davies. He kicks into the Campbelltown pocket and has found the mark. Chad Wood, who's one of those, made his debut in Div 1 today, right deep into the pocket, off hands. Jets have got it through some quick hands. They'll clear it out, and a good kick has found their target in Ollie Cheeseman.
Nice switch out the back too. It's I would like to see this today on a day like this with good weather. So player just holding on, a little bit of tempo football. These first 10 minutes are normally quite hot with ball movement, players quite fit. The player just struck that with his right foot, and that was Mitchell Mintz. A lot of time in the air. They're inside 50, up it comes, big pack forms, bobbles off hands. Oh, player pushing and rolling over players there. Nice by Athelstone. Their intensity's good. So we'll have a ball up. 40 metres out, straight in front of goal, Unley end. Umpire comes in, says, I'll take it, boys. Fair few players around the ball, up it goes. No real advantage there to the players. Comes out, bobbles around. Athelstone first to the ball. They're hard at it. Quick handball up. Can they get it? Out it comes now. So Unley Mercedes, quick handball, kick around the corner. Really up and down kick. Good guts shown here, and that's a nice mark by Bradley Straps.
Yeah, just a young kid. Bradley is his first year of senior footy, and it's nice to see a young redhead from Cove. Actually, Hallett Cove, it's his second A-grade game today, so nice, and a beautiful kick too. And it looks like he's found Tommy Langford on the lead, and Tommy has been a good pickup for Unley. He struggles with a bit of a serious knee condition, but they manage him during the week. He doesn't do a lot on Tuesdays and gets himself up for game day, and they've certainly been very happy with him. Much travelled player over the last few years, Tommy, but I would back him in, boys.
Well, you get to call him in then.
Okay, well, he's about 30 metres out, fairly severe angle. He's stutter. Reminds me of KG Cunningham, that run up, but it's all good. It's gone straight through the middle, and that's the first goal of the game, first score of the game. Unley Mercedes Jets, 1 goal to Athelstone. Oh, has he missed?
He's missed.
Oh.
Yeah, don't take that finger the wrong way, Jack.
That goal umpire's blind. I'll have a crack at someone else.
Okay. Well, Unley have scored first. They're on the board with the one behind. Athelstone with the ball. Looking to clear out defence on the hillside. The gorgeous panorama here with the trees and the foothills in the background. And Athelstone happy now, looking to switch it over. But Mercedes Jets, Unley, they're on top of it. So they've gone back. They've gone right. They've gone left. They've gone right again. Now they've got Sammy Cook. Long penetrating kick down the wing. That probably should have been taken as a mark by the Raggies. Now it's a hot footy. Working hard was Kane Nurton. In the end, I think there's going to be a stoppage. Umpire having to let this go as long as possible. But it ain't coming out. Time for the men in green to ball it up. Tony.
So up it goes here. Oh, nice leap there. I don't
Holiday.
mind that, Jack Holiday. Yeah, he's going to be a bit athletic, isn't he, for the other guy? And good kick out there, Unley. Far side now, and this is Heaslip, Luke Heaslip. So penetrating kick inside 50, but over towards the pocket. Out they roar. Just a tap over the top, tried to be clever. I'll tell you what Athelstone have done from here. They've undone me. That's what they've done, because normally they've come to the other side. So they're playing out that far side. And I'll tell you what, a fair few sponsors out there, as we see. Just a hold up in play. Nice little chip kick. Will they come into the middle? There's not really anything on. They've got a player far wide on this wing if they can get 2 kicks across. So another chip kick. Just a bit of tempo. Possession football. Far side again. Half-back flank. They're maintaining possession. Now they look inside. Not yet. They might just go one more. He's looking for the switch. He's got players set here if he wants. Down the line now. Down the wing. Nice kick. And that's a good little grab by Aaron Stewart, one of the better players on the day. Now they come inside. This is what we've been waiting for.
The skipper, Luke Randa, takes it. Made a good contest out the far side a bit earlier and probably could have marked it in the end, but wasn't, but moved all right there. And this is Chad Wood. Wheels around, nice kick into the top of the goal square. Keeps it alive. And Sammy Cook, the old Ignatius player, just not quite able to hold that ball inside the forward 50 and allow Unley Mercedes Jets to clear the ball. And we now find Tommy Langford, who's pushed it right up the ground, boys. I'd expected to play a real deep forward, but looks like Finlayson's playing more deep and Langford's moving up the ground, and he looks quite mobile, doesn't he, Phil?
He does. Bit hard to sell the dummy when you're standing on the boundary line. So that's gone out of bounds. Will be a throw in front of the Unley fans. Plenty of cars. I must admit, the accessibility of this oval is fantastic. Where we've been, Payneham had to walk a couple of blocks. Unley had to walk half a Uni had to walk half a postcode. I reckon I'm within about 20 metres of the ground this time, so great to get to. As we've just got a stalemate happening at the moment. There's your young redhead bustling in hard. Andrew Cabaz went down, didn't get the free kick on this occasion. Only Athelstone player is ragged off the ball. This is Cheeseman with the kick towards Langford. He's battling hard.
Well done.
Drew the player, got it out to Damon Arnold, whose kick needs a bounce, didn't get it. It's 2-0 to the Jets.
He's got on the barrel there, Tony.
He has, and he was very smart. Then he hung off and waited, whereas the Athelstone, both players went in towards the player with the ball. So I love this little bit. I'm interested to see what the fullback does. He hasn't got anything out this side, so it's going to be a long one. He's got number 7 down here, down the middle if he wants, so he plays on there, and that's Matthew Moriello. Just a high long kick, and he's really burnt that ball, so we'll cross over to Ben.
Boys, we just had a player come off for Unley, number 29, Luke Heaslip. Seems like he was grabbing his calf, maybe an ankle. I'll keep you updated on that, but might have an injury already for Unley Mercedes.
It's disappointing. He started exceptionally well, Luke Heaslip, out on the far side.
So Thomas Langford it is with the ball in hand. Second shot at goal already, and we're 7 minutes in. He's going to be a problem, I reckon, for Athelstone. I think you're right, Sean. I don't think he's going to come up the ground too often, but let's see if he can finish this. If he can get that little did-it out.
Here it is, the KG stutter.
He walks in all right. This time it's better.
That's all, folks.
And just leans back, and that will do us. If that's effective for him, do you know what? I already had him down for a goal because I listened to your call instead of watching the game before, Sean. That's how good it was. But there's a 6-pointer, so they're up on the board now. 1 goal, 2 points to 0 at the moment, but not too bad a game, to be honest.
Bit slower than the games I reckon we've seen the last few weeks, to be honest with you. I think it's a little bit mark, kick, catch. Mark, kick, catch. How about that?
Like a game of footy, Sean. Wouldn't that be amazing? Could they put a handball in there as well?
Luke Heaslip, just interesting enough, his father is the president of Unley Jets.
Ooh.
Might have been just going to give Dad some advice, but it's Dickinson in the ruck against Michael Randon, and Dickinson it is that gets the tap. And there's my little redhead fella, number 7, Jacob Earl. Looks good, gets the ball. Nice bit of play here off the back. Josh Stevens, son of the chief police officer in our state, and he's backed it out exceptionally well. Josh Stevens rough the half back line, if you don't mind, from the centre square. If we can get a replay of that was terrific. Nice push forward in the ruck. Here he comes charging through the middle of the square. Stevens on the left foot, sells the pup, straightens up, bang.
Ooh.
Could that be one of our between the posts goal of the week? We'll soon find out. So it is. It took 7.5 minutes for Unley to get their first goal, 54 seconds to get their second. They have a 14-point lead. Athelstone yet to score. Only do have the breeze. It's not quite a north-south oval, and the goal scorer was Jack Holliday. We're all conversing. Okay, so we're back in the middle. Only trying to get the clearance through Cheeseman, but he's wrapped up. Another ball up. This time it's Michael Rander in ruck. He's going to get the tap down. Going to be a free kick to one of the Raggies leaders in Clues. He goes to the outer side. Only seem to have numbers all over the board at the moment. This is Josh Stevens, who I thought actually was the goal scorer before. We'll have to watch that replay again.
He was
the goal
definitely the goal scorer. Yep.
He's been a bit of everywhere.
So Athelstone have it, and Jake Westover trying to send their Raggies forward, Tony.
I'll tell you what, I like the size of this guy too. He's kicked it to the same spot again as he did in the earlier kick, but he's a good size, that Davies.
Yep.
Alexander, and of course there's James Davies out here as well. So here's Stevens, the goal kicker. He's starting to cover a bit of territory, so we'll keep an eye on him as they've got it right in the back pocket. They haven't had to do too much work down here, but this hold up in play gives time for the pack to form. So let's just see whether they use the ball the same as Athelstone. They haven't. They've just bombed it up, and that could be an opportunity. In they come. Out the back, Athelstone. So that's what it does. It gives you a chance. I'm loving this with Athelstone. They're not afraid to use the centre. They look around. They've gone 3 times to the same spot. This guy leads 3 times there. Hooks around. That's going to bounce horribly for the players. So they get it back. He backed up well, that player. Check side. And doesn't quite hit it correctly. That was James Davies. They've kicked that ball, Sean, 3 times now to the same, what we call the fat side. But they're very good at switching that ball across. So we'll see the kick in.
Jack Lewis
now.
It is going to bring the ball in. They like to free him up as the spare back in the back half. Kicks once again, lovely left footer, but he's turned that one over with a terrible kick. And it's found Kane Nerton, who interestingly enough won the best and fairest last year, boys. Athelstone in his first year coming across from Broadview and couldn't make presentation night because his father got married. So that's one dad owes him.
That's a combination that may never have happened ever before.
Yeah.
Should he have turned around and looked at the goals when he walked back, Sean?
He could have and should have. Kane should know better than that, but that's good off the boot. He's allowed for the win, and it's come back and let the fist up. Hopefully this year Dad stays in the marriage and he can be there for the best and fairest count because he started the year off very well.
Might be anniversary.
Yes, correct.
Anyway, Newton's on the board. His 7th. Well, he kicked 6 goals in 19 games, as mentioned. A best and fairest season in a premiership year at Div 2. Let's go boundary side, Ben Tippett.
Just an update on Heaslip, boys. He's just sat straight down. He hasn't been in the hands of the trainers at all. So it either suggests to me that he's brought that injury into the game, Jacko.
Oh, not another.
Or they're not too worried about him. I'll leave that one with you.
I'm going to go spare if that was the case.
Dr. Jacko is going to have some words as to these clubs afterwards, as it's with Josh Stevens, who gets a clearance. He's in everything. He's defending, he's clearing in the centre, he's kicking goals. Could be an early nomination for our Dartfish player of the game. Meanwhile, Jacob Earl does some work at ground level, gets the hand pass off. It's another inside 50 for the Jets. They have the lead, looking for Langford. He's their target up forward, and he's taking on 3 Raggies at once single-handedly there for a sec. Cavalry arrives. I'm intrigued that... Oh, no, was being held to the Raggies player. I saw some Unley players appealing for holding the ball, and I thought it was Langford's, Tony.
So they've got some good matchups here if they can get it out, Athelstone. It's not quite going to get to this player. So around the corner, just a hurried kick, unable to take the grab there was the Athelstone player, and a little bit of pressure. Just when we get a chance, down on the wing here, we've got Alexander Davies, who is a good size, and he's playing on Jonathan Ironarson, and he's a good size as well. So there's some good matchups around the ground. The ruckman are back here as well, resting, but he's got a man on him.
Beautiful hand. Langford over the back with a handball, boys.
Just bang. Mitchell Minns.
Yeah, he's been in everything too, Mitchell Minns, hasn't he, early? Second year, was on the Crows list from Ranella, and interestingly enough, he is a man who serves his community exceptionally well as a firefighter.
Oh, yes, got to always give thanks to those famous fireys amongst us, of which there are plenty in the football industry. As the kick comes out and has been found, Jack Holliday. He'll quickly rebound for the Jets.
And in front.
And this time couldn't be taken off hands. There's a snap and another goal. So they're having plenty of sprays at the moment, only Mercedes. They go to 2-4. That's 16. Athelstone 117. So just the 9 points. And given only have a little bit of the breeze thanks to our weatherman, thanks to the Elders weather app. Not a bad position for Athelstone at the moment. Tony.
And Liam Ryan that had the shot. I tell you what, not leaping Liam, but as soon as that went through, they all scurried and got into their positions for the kick-in. So I like that. They've got some good structures. So ball out of bounds on that far side. So there'll be some little idiosyncrasies, if you like, that I look at through the game, and just their setups and how quick they are to get in. So this is one here that no one behind the two ruckmen at the moment, but will we see some movement as the ball comes in? So it's a shorter drop, so it'll drop to the front. Oh, it just falls into Cluse's arms. He's thrown to ground ferociously there. Out the back. Good tackling there by Unley. They're hot on to Athelstone. We'll see another ball up. And I tell you what, I've liked the look early of Jack Holliday, and he's got a penetrating kick. Up he goes again. Taps it forward. Athelstone now. High ball. Up and down. Both players misjudge. Probably the sun in their eyes today. And there's another tackle that we're seeing from Unley. So that was Damon Arnold. Sean?
Ben, it is.
He slipped back on the ground. Boys look like he's running freely. So
bad call early.
Very bad call early.
Right, no worries. No, you'll get better as the day progresses, and hopefully so do we. Ball charges in Athelstone's forward 50. Boundary throw in. They've haven't had the amount of inside 50s. If we had a stat on that, we'll try and get that for you. But clearly, Unley have had most of the inside 50s. But Athelstone are only 1 goal 3 behind on the scoreboard as the ball gets set to thrown in. It's the two same blokes, Holiday versus Randa. The Michael variety. There are 3 Randers out on the field, as we mentioned before. Luke it is that makes the tackle.
I thought you were going to say their father's name's Ver.
Who?
Veranda.
Ah, I like that. Yeah, yes, very good, very good.
Boom, boom.
Unley out of the back 50 with a quick clearing kick under pressure, not able to be trapped by the Athelstone play. He's brought it back in. That'll be holding the ball for mine. If the umpire's consistent, and he is, and it is holding the ball. And number 19, Anthony Scar, ex-Goodwood Saints Day player, has the clearance. Phil.
So Scara has it. Everyone's scattering. Kicks it towards the outer side. That was Liam Draper, one of the youngsters who got a hand on it, but only are going to progress here. This is with Blake Harris in the pocket. He looks at the goals. He sets sail.
Captain's point.
And well, you got to say, there's some gettable goals that only Mercedes are missing at the moment. They are 2-5. That is 17. Athelstone are 1-1-7. And Jack, I think you have some inside 50 stats.
Yeah, well, I wasn't too far off the pace. Unley 9 at this stage, and Athelstone 6, and tackles 13 to Unley to Athelstone 6. So certainly at the ball at the moment, Unley, but not finishing off their work, Tony.
So that's a good grab by Henry Stevens. Good solid grab, and just something a little bit different with the kick-in was out this side. So they're setting up from here. Shrugs the tackle in this way, that way. Good control of the ball. Just a hurried kick, but they've got numbers here. Can't quite. One player left his play. That was courageous play. Now they've got players. I like the look of Stevens. He's been very good. Nice kick inside, and it's opened up.
That's cheesy.
Cheese man.
Cheesy.
But he's come right out. That's mine. I've got it. So that is Bradley Straps. Keep away from the caravan, you blokes.
Strapsy.
So down he goes. He's heard me too, and that's not the best kick. So big turnover there. Nice short little kick, long enough. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's played on when he had more time into the middle. I haven't minded that. However, this is where the danger is. He's got a nice left foot too, Sean.
Yes. What was it?
Most of the time.
What he was searching for there, boys, he was searching for a lead, and Eric Brereton, who normally plays in the back half, was reluctant to get out on the lead. When you have Scara charging through the centre of the ground with a beautiful left foot, you need to get some space, and Brereton didn't lead for him, and unfortunately he had no one to kick the ball to. Scara ball back now on the half-back line as a result, and it's now gone out of bounds. So, a few positional moves today by Unley, maybe trying a few things different, but just in that passage of play, Brereton looked like a defender for me, boys. Holiday it is up against Randa. A bit of wrestling. Ball's gone forward. We can hear the players going cheesy, cheesy. And that's not because they're hungry, and it's not because they're changing the name of Coon Cheese. That's because they got a player called Cheeseman.
Maybe that's what they could change it to. Cheesy. Anyway, we're back to the game here. Athelstone going forward through Nerd. It's inside 50. Spills out. Bounces a fortune for Braden Cross. His kick almost found the target. He's got to hold the marks, the Raggies. But they don't have to because they're going to get a free. And this will be Luke Randa, who kicked a goal last week, was third best. 51 goals in 20 games last season. He's got a chance to get 2 for the Raggies and make it a 4-point game.
Big centre forward, imposing figure too, isn't he, up there? Gives them a target.
Good player, been a good player for a long time, Luke Randa.
So we're right behind it here. Your broadcast team, of course, thanks to catch.com.au, screaming good deals. Can the Raggies get a critical mark as we head into time on? And swinging back, no siree. And you think if Athelstone are to make it close, they have to take every opportunity, Tony. That's one begging. They're 1-2, Unley a 2-5.
Yeah, poor miss for a forward player. So Unley just having a look around now. They really like to use the ball, just that short kick into the pocket. We normally see teams give you that one. It's this next kick that's critical, and not able to take it. So they're on to it, Athelstone, once again centering the ball. And that really hurts you. He's been good.
Yep.
Later as the quarter goes, just misses targets there. Got to lift that up. Now we see a handball over Cheeseman, the man we were talking about. So just holding up play now. Cheeseman's run on, so they've got numbers down forward. Oh, out in front there, but not used, was the big fella in 23 who we haven't got a number for.
He's got it. That's Tommy Finlay, mate. Came into the side.
Tom Finlay, is it?
Morning.
Thank you very much.
Stopped. And
23, and he has it.
I think
He hasn't. It's Langford.
I think it's actually a free kick for a push to Langford there. They're certainly wary of the fact that Unley, they've got 2 big, tall targets in there in Finlay and Langford, and they're happy to bomb the ball in on occasions. And why wouldn't you when both blokes look very capable? I don't think he's kicked one yet, has he?
So Langford now, he has kicked one. So he starts to wander in now. He just puts that stutter in. I know we sort of harp on it, but he's leant back on it, and that's straight through the middle. He's got his second for the day, and that's just straightening them up. They've actually got good targets up forward. Both are number 24s, ironically, and he's got 2 in the first quarter, Sean.
Yeah, and what's interesting, boys, is the same 2 ruckman started are still in the middle, and I talk about Jack Holliday from Unley versus Michael Randa from Athelstone. Expected to see Tom Finlay in the ruck by this stage, and how far in are we? 21 minutes and hasn't gone into the ruck at all. So both players doing a mountain of work in the middle, and they've certainly got some jumping capability. Blake Randa has gone into the ruck on occasions, has he, Tone? This is him now. Okay, well, there has been a change. Randa to Randa. A Holiday it is that's still there. Pushes the ball forward nicely to Anthony Scara, who's had a purple patch the last 10 minutes. But I like the look of this kid. He is having a beauty. I know he's written off by our erstwhile boundary rider 10 minutes ago, Luke Heaslip, with a calf injury. But, boys, he would have had 7 or 8 touches off the half-forward flank. He's deceptive, isn't he, in his size?
I think he probably heard the call. He was off. They were amputating, and then he heard the call from the commentary box, and he said, well, I've got to get back out there.
Well, he looks balanced over the ball. He's given it some air. Looks like it's got the carry. Has it. Close on the line. Not. But Finlay snaps it over his head. Is he good enough? No, he's not. Phil, we're with you.
Okay, thanks, mate. Well, another behind for the Jets. 3-6-24. Athelstone 1-2-8. 16 points by my mathematics. They just have to find that football by the looks of it. Do they have? They obviously don't have the footies and bags behind the goals at this level. It's a bit of a budgetary strain to do that.
Yes.
And you also have to find the person to look after the balls as well, which even at Sandford League level, I can tell you can be an issue.
Yep.
But we've got the ball. We're back in action. Little chip-in kick. Athelstone are happy to go. Oh, look at the jumping jacks from the... that was Nick Stewart. He's keen. He's excited. He hasn't got the ball, but he could be doing aerobics.
Been around for a long time. There's Nick Stewart. His father used to be the president of the club.
Jeez, about everyone that plays for Unley used to is related.
That's how you get a game, mate. That's how
it's done, is it? Spoken from experience, Jago. As his kick downfield. Here come the Unley Mercedes Jets, Tony. They're very good on the rebound as they kick it into some space. Yep.
Not the fastest player. He's got his work cut out, but well done with a Shepherd there. 2-3, took 2 or 3 on, and Daniel Clues, that needs to be rewarded now. He's put another one on and he's been caught for holding, so it will be going against it. He put in a mountain of work there off the ball, but unfortunately gave it away. So Cabaz it is with the ball. So they're just setting up. He's got a couple out wide on his left if he wants, but he's looking down the ground. Rushed kick now. He's asked to play on just a big pack, but almost clucking it out there was Langford. So the ball will just pop out of bounds and they need to set up. So what we're seeing off camera here is there is a little bit of a press by both teams. So they're not quite past the centre of the ground now, the whole Unley Jets. Now we see an Unley Athelstone player, like Luke Randa, running back the other way. I like that because stretch the opposition, take them away from their game plan. So what's happening now, if you looked inside the square, there's one player in the corner. I was always told, Jacko, have a look where the umpire is. That's a good position to be. There's no players there. So ball goes up, out the back. Really liked his ruck work, young Holiday. Good players. They loop up well. 2 or 3 kicks. Rounder comes right to that hot spot. Players converge. And a grab to Athelstone. And I haven't minded... is this Westover, I reckon? I'm not sure. No, it might be...
No, Westover's not playing.
Moriello.
He's been a very good player for since coming to Athelstone. Benny Rogers back into the side this week. He's been out for a few weeks. Good player, can play on talls and shorts. Young Benny gets the ball down the wing. Oh, the turnovers in this game, boys, are horrific from both sides, to be brutally honest with you. It's in comparison to what we've seen. But that is a great take by Finlayson. Can he get it on? Can he kick a goal this time? He's been threatening. They've kept it alive here. Ball still alive. Unlucky. Good effort there, but I like the look of Finlayson, but he certainly hasn't gone in the ruck, which Kane told us was where he was going to play. But Langford, it is up against the ruck. They need to keep this ball inside. Are they able to do it? No.
Touchdown.
It's James Davies who takes it over the line. And Phil, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking there was a bit of aerial ping pong, as they sometimes call this sport.
Yep.
There's Athelstone. They just want to hold on, I reckon. The quarter time's imminent. Just conceded the 3 goals. 9 scoring shots to 3 does so. Only Mercedes have had the run of it, though. So they're going to kick it. This is Rogers, who's getting a bit of the ball on the outer side. It's linked up a teammate. Down the, I think there's a soccer ground up that part of the world. A couple of soccer players. I can see a linesman. I can see a official. It's a multi-sport complex. They're trying to get some funding at the moment to replace the current digs and the Raggies Bistro.
That been agreed to, has it?
I think it had been agreed to.
Yeah.
But then that was pre-COVID, and of course a lot of things have been agreed to, haven't ended up progressing much in the last 6 months. Let's try and progress the commentary with Tony Neal.
So Unley have got a spare back here, quarterback you might call it, James O'Sullivan. So if the ball does come down, there is a spare. Now it's Stevens who's the spare. Ball in the forward 50. Ooh. Good courage shown there by all players. Player on his own out there, tight in the pocket. And I'll tell you what, another point, that takes them through to 3-7. So we'll see the setup here, and there is the siren. Interestingly, I was talking with the coach last year in a Division 1 team, and he did think about putting a ball behind the post at each end just for that quick play on.
Oh, well, it's something you would do all day, every day. If you're going with the wind, I would have a ball spare behind the goals exactly for that reason, or a man down there who can get the ball back to your kicker inner to get the play going as quickly as possible. But boys, it's quarter time, and Unley lead 3-8 to Athelstone 1-2. I think for me what I've noticed is that Unley have been a bit wasteful in the front 50, and I don't want to labour this point either, but in comparison to the games we've seen the last few weeks, this seems to be a drop in pace, and the turnovers from both sides are quite alarming at this stage. If one side can start just finishing with the ball a bit better, they may find they can open this game up. But evenly poised, really.
I would generally say this is a game that's got room for a bit of upside at the moment.
I like that. And apologies to Jake Westover earlier on. I thought you were talking... That's how you get in your mind. I'm thinking of Henry Westall, who normally plays for Unley. He's out injured, but Jake Westover is certainly playing a good quarter of footy for Athelstone out of the back half.
Alrighty, the goal scorers. Tom Langford has 2. Josh Stevens, a nice running goal for the Jets. For the Raggies, Kane and Nurton got them on the board. Quarter time, only Mercedes 3-8-26, Athelstone 1-8. We'll be back. Then Tony and Jacko will summarise the first quarter, and we'll get our thoughts from grounds from Ben Tippett as well. This is Matchday Live, thanks to Sports Interactive and Filming Footy.
catch.com.au. Screaming good deals.
Catch!
One of our great supporters here in the Adelaide Footy League this year is Business Plaza. They do great work helping clubs raise much needed funds. One of those is the Goody Saints. Let's hear from Craig Scott.
The Goody Saints are going to partner with Business Plaza because of their track record, and also they're a major sponsor of the Adelaide Footy League, and they've brought in big companies like Vodafone and Catch Group. We feel we can better engage with our members and our players through the app, and I encourage you to get on board and become a member of Business Plaza.
And welcome back, everyone. Quarter time here. You can see we've got some stats. Jacko, what do you make of that?
Oh, well, I think the stats reflect what we saw, Phil, and that's the inside 50s in particular. Unley 15 to Athelstone 8, almost double. Turnovers, as I said earlier, 9 to Athelstone, 6 to Unley. It's far too many turnovers in a quarter of footy. Hit-outs, Unley, we've liked the look of Holiday, is it in the ruck? Jack Holiday, he's got some spring. He looks like an ex-basketballer, but you talk about what do you do as an opposition coach. Well, he looks pretty lean to me. I'd be sending Finlayson in there. Sorry, not Finlayson. I'd be sending in a bigger body just to try and reduce his jumping, jump into him a little bit. Yeah, maybe one of the Randers.
A softener, Sean.
A softener. I like that word, Tone. And it's a game that the clearances only 11 to 5. I mean, they've had control there. The tackles inside 55 to 1 and free kicks. All the stats are in favour of Unley. What they just didn't do, boys, was put it beyond doubt on the scoreboard. They've had 11 scoring shots to 3, and what they're doing, which really annoys me, is they're putting my chance of winning the tip in jeopardy.
And I'd like to mention, I don't mind Athelstone's. They're attempting to change into the centre of the ground, get it out the other side, and I would say keep doing it. Turn up ready for a contest. And it's not about winning a whole quarter, but maybe just win the moment, win your 50-50s, win a moment, and then if you can put together a series of moments, you may then get some fluid and continuity to your game. But what's happening is they'll get 2 or 3 kicks down the ground, and then it'll come back. And that can burn you mentally sometimes. So they're quite buoyant at the moment. First quarter, can they get themselves back into it? Let's see what happens. You've got a score there, Sean?
Yeah, well, you'd like to think with a young group that they'd remain buoyant. What Stephen Brown told me was that, in every game they've played, they've come out of the blocks pretty well and just haven't been able to hang on in the second half, which is what tends to happen with young kids. So that's the challenge for them, just to try and extend how long in the game they stay in. And yes, I do have a score from Ross Trevor St. Peter's at quarter time. Ross Trevor 3-3 to, and that is at Ross Trevor leads Spock's 2 goals for, up by 5 points at quarter time, Ross Trevor.
And the other score I've got is Brighton, Prince Alfred 3-5-25, lead Brighton 3-2-20. Both those games 5 points to margin. Let's go quickly Bantry side to Ben Tippett.
Thanks, Phil. Just quick message from the huddle. Unley, they wanted to be cleaner with their skill, make the most of their opportunities and really hurt them on the scoreboard. 8 points is obviously a little bit inaccurate there. Athelstone, they were quite happy with the start. They want to keep the ball out in front this quarter, be a little bit more composed with their possession, give the forwards an opportunity and kick it in long and deep to the tall forwards.
Second quarter about to get underway and you're with Tony Neal.
Yeah, so the big ruckman, as we said there, has gone into the middle and... ball comes out, flying in there, taken high. Has he got the ball? Has he got the player? He's taken him around the head and he's been caught holding the ball. And I'll tell you what, he's fiery, this young player here. And that's our man, Bradley Straps it is. Now, let's see if he can use the ball. It's a long kick in, out towards that pocket. Big pack forms. Is it just going to bobble out? Not quite. Now it does in front of a couple of spectators out there. That's the beauty of Athelstone's ground too. They've got spectators set up all around the place. So right in the forward pocket now. See whether Unley can snap one here. 3 goals, 8. Geez, if they can get a bit more accurate, they could run away with it here. Good tackle to the ground there. Big fella there, 27. So Moriello, I've liked his game as well. So the ruckman here about to take, nice tap down. Straight to Unley, around the corner, over the umpire's head. And that is a Goal, Shawnee.
I've got a funny feeling that's our man that was dead and buried, isn't it? Is that Luke Heaslip?
Well, we're going to see the replay in a sec. We're going to need it to work it out.
I'm pretty sure that might be Luke Heaslip. It is running onto it.
It is.
Benny, ever since Benny put him in the box, he has responded and
you what.
responded exceptionally well.
Incredible resurrection.
Yes, well, Jack Holliday again in the ruck up against Michael Randa, and yeah, just going back to what I said earlier, boys, 2 Randa, there's 3 Randa brothers, but 2 that are changing the ruck. I think what they've got to do against Holliday, lean body, try and put a knee right into his thigh and slow him down a little bit, because he is a jumping jack. We'll have a look at this ruck contest, see if he's able to get up again. But Randa, if I were you, be going straight at the body. Doesn't. Once again, Holliday gets the tap, comes out of the middle through Bradley Straps. It's the centre half forward now. But Jake Westover is able to clear the ball only as far as Andrew Cabaz, one of the 2 Cabaz brothers that you see on a Friday or Saturday night after a gutful of Sherbies. Ball alive, Scara on the left foot, beautiful kick. And boys, it's ended up with...
So it's Stewart or Scara? Nick
no,
Stewart?
It's not. Yes, it's Stewart.
Steve?
What I liked about that is just about every forward 50 entry prior to that has been a long bomb, hoping that Finlayson or Langford would take the mark, but that was a spearing kick to Nick Stewart. Experienced player, another left footer, looks good off the boot, but I don't think it'll hold its line.
Oh!
That's that man again, would you believe? Luke Heaslip is looking at best on ground by the length of the straight at the moment. Left footer, this is going to be a difficult kick for him. Is he a left footer?
He kicked the last one on the right.
Right, well...
He's got 2 feet, so he could well be.
He's going on the right, he's gone...
No.
Bread and butter for AFL players these days, that sort of kick. But Luke just needs to practice that a little bit more at training. But boy, is he an excitement machine in the front half of the ground, boys.
Springy, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it has been all only Mercedes in the opening 3 minutes of this second quarter. They've kicked a goal, they've kicked a couple of behinds. They're slowly extending their lead as the kick comes out, thumped out of bounds by Tommy Langford, keeps it in their half of the field where it's been this entire second quarter. The interchanges and selections, of course, brought to you by Interchange, our main sponsor, catch.com.au. Screaming good deals, great supporter of our game day live coverage. And, of course, the Between the Post show that you'll see every Wednesday night. From the tap down, we've got it to... how did he get so much time and space? Everyone just waited off of him. Got the hand pass off to Scara. He's been creating a lot. And a little bit of a side push. Was that the judgment? Yes, it was. And there's your man Heaslip. Decides he won't go for goals. He'll line up Langford, who had it, lost it, got it back, and is then set upon. Athelstone should clear, but Jets forwards are going in hard. And I reckon we're going to see a stoppage any moment. There it is, Jacko.
Just on that, Tone, before you take over, that's again another forward 50 entry where they've speared the ball. And Langford should have marked that, and that would have been a much better way of moving the ball into the forward rather than bombing. But our boy's going to get it here again. He has, boys. It spills out, goes to the boundary line. Stevens up from the half-back line, tries for the miracle. Not able to get it. Liam Ryan has got it, wheels round on the right. The discipline thing goes to the top of the square. Finlayson not able to hold it. We've got a boundary throw in, Tony.
That's all right, Sean. That's what happens, mate. All good. I'll tell you what happened there while you were calling that. I was watching that. Stevens is very good. His player walked in and another player walked in on the ball up and left him free. And he's a very dangerous player. Don't leave him like that. So if you've been watching, here's a little thing here. Look how short that throw-in is by that umpire. Now, if you're a ruckman, who?
That was Fireman.
How dare I start and comment on other things when the game's on? But but what's happening, the boundary umpire is actually dropping that ball a bit short. So if I was a ruckman, I'd be moving in a metre or two and just having a bit of a look at that. And you should be able to pick that up as a coach as well. So kick-in duties now with Moriello. He's had them most of the time. Last time was just a bomb. They're a bit shy with talls, so he's picked out a player. Now that's a lot better. So what we've got to do is set this up. I reckon this might be Westover again. No, Westover's calling for it. So player tied up on the boundary. It's just going to come right down in front of us here. We'll be able to hear this.
Langford.
And Langford again. The thing is they're stretched for height, but this Alexander Davies is probably the lead-up player that can run in and crash a pack and take the grab. He's the one I'd like to see come up, because if you look down the back here, Sean, you've got Luke Randa and Davies within 10 metres of each other, two talls the same height and missing height down the wing here. So out the back this time, there's a nice run on Westover. Just a bomb down towards those players as we speak. This is what happens when you're out of position. No one gets it.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure who it is that has the ball at the moment, but Unley it is.
Salt.
Yep, Salt of the earth. Goes towards Brereton. He hasn't been able to have much of an influence on the game at this stage. Ball back with Athelstone, straight through the centre half forward. And that is Kane Nerton who kicks the ball beautifully into full forward. And I think it's James Cabaz, is it, that's got the ball there, boys? The little fellow's been around for a while.
No, this will be...
Daniel Clues, I think.
Athelstone.
Clues number 1, sorry, yes. Let's work out. You know what's confusing me? Unley are normally a blue.
Yes.
You're right.
Exactly. You see blue, you think Unley.
Yeah.
I get it.
And that was actually Davies who kicked that into one of the players we were talking about before. It's an interesting, just trying to get those two talls down there, and they're one shy down here, down the ground. Way you go.
Yeah, Daniel Clues, don't think he'll miss it from here, boys. 10 metres out. Beautiful. Kicks through the ball, which is good to see. And lost ball, and the game will have to be abandoned.
Soccer out the back. Let's bring the
No,
round ball in.
there's a young kid chasing it. It's down towards the creek.
It's landed in the creek. It's going to end up in North Adelaide.
Well, that's it. Where's the first stop? The weir, it might get stopped. You got some stats, Jacko?
I have, and the stats, of course, are brought to us, Phil, by Dartfish, fantastic sponsor of our show. Unley inside 50s, 3 to Athelstone 1, and clearances 5-1. So big discrepancy there. And Anthony Scarra started the quarter exceptionally well with 5 disposals. We're back in the centre. Phil.
At half-time, thanks to Business Plaza, we'll get your thoughts, Tony's thoughts. We'll get Ben's thoughts as well.
Where is Ben?
Ben's off roaming. He's on assignments at the moment, I think. Or he's off to try the Kransky we showed earlier. I'm not sure. We're in the middle. Hot footy. And Athelstone are sticking in it. They're down by 2 goals, 8, which is 20 points. Some thought they should be down a bit further. And if you look at the scoring shots, probably right. But Unley are not having it all their own way today, and they're struggling to get clear possession of it right now. This is pretty untidy football. It's going to end up with the Raggies with Nerton. He's been one of their key movers. He's found Alex Davies in some space. What can the Raggies create here? It ends up at the feet of Luke Randa. That gives a chance for Unley Mercedes to mop up. This is Brereton on to Inarson, across to Straps, who's been one of their better players. Speaking of ODR players of the game, on to Jack Lewis and Tony. The Jets are refuelling and they're ready to take off.
Oh, I like that. And bang, away they go. They're linking up well. This is just this poor skill that we're seeing on a perfect day, and that causes a turnover or a tackle. So in hard are the players now. Nice tackle. Players out skirting, and he has ran into an absolute brick wall. I really like this player,
Sarge.
Joshua Stevens. So around it comes. Good little grab here, and this is Fireman. We haven't Riley Fireman.
Fireman, is he Fireman?
We haven't. He's got the fiery. That's got to be a free kick or downfield something like that.
There's that kick again, Tone.
Yeah, there it is. They're making it hard for the forward, and they've got a dominant forward that they can use. So this will be a ball up right in front of goals. Players now forced down the ground. We're seeing 5 players only for Athelstone in their forward line, so they've put a spare back somewhere. Both players. This is one of our little pet hates there, Shawnee. Both ruckmen tapped the same way.
Yep.
Now, out it comes Westover. Over. Bounce beats everyone. That's clean bowled. Down to it is Randa. I'm not real sure about him below the knees, but he does well there. Ball is a 50-50. He looks at the player first there, Jack Holliday. He wanted to see what traffic was coming. Or taken high, but play on it is. He's getting a few touches now, Nerton. Up in the air, makes a 50-50. These are the ones you've got to win. If you're going to compete, you've got to win them, and you can't give it away like that. And I reckon this is Brereton, is it? No, it's that's what I want to see, Sean. Oh, not that though. So around it comes to Clues. Left foot, right foot, no left foot. So tries a drop kick. Haven't seen one of them since the 70s. Out it comes. Now they're away. Oh, no, they're not. What comedy of errors in the second quarter. Pick the ball up, boys. Put your body behind it. No, it's not raining and it's not wet, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching from home, this is a dry day. Ball bobbling around. Now we see a clear kick. Take it, Shawnee.
Yeah, well, big Randa underneath that one. Able to keep it alive. Handballs keeps it going towards Westover, who kicks it down the line, and it's intercepted by Brereton. No Athelstone
I was
play.
going to say, where's the blue jumper?
2E. Maybe he's confused by the Guernseys, but Brereton it is. He's kicked it along the line. Can't quite catch who that player is, but we're trapped on the half-back line for Unley. Goes short with a bit of air. You really need to be able to punch the ball. The skipper's got it, Blake Harris. Like to see him play on, but it's a nice kick into. Oh, it's not a nice kick at all into the centre corridor. Luke Rander gets it, kicks it to space. Oh, not able to finish. The finishing boys today has been a dreadful.
Nice tackle.
Was a good tackle, yes, indeed, and end up getting a holding the ball decision, was it?
Yeah, indeed. That was a rose and a whole lot of thorns. We're doing a bloopers tape at the end of the year with our between the post show. I reckon a few of that last 2 minutes would be right up there.
James Davies, has got the ball, and he's a chance, interesting enough, to put Athelstone to 3 goals too, and they'll only be 2 goals behind, and we've played 12 minutes into the second quarter. Can he steer this one home, Ooh. Phil? He's on the boundary, looks good off the boot. Every time I say that, it goes out in the fall, and that's no exception. Touched. Boundary throw-in.
Alrighty, so a rare inside 50 that stayed inside 50 for Athelstone. And either tends to score or come out pretty quickly. Right next to that behind post. With the I like the colour coding there with the blue and the white on the padding. Now, can the Raggies get something out of this forward 50? I don't think they're going to, because Unley have got the wave. Skara, he'd probably be my vote, even though I don't get one for the player of the week at the moment. I think he's been pretty good when he's had the ball.
Yep.
But Athelstone player taken high. This is Clues.
Again.
He's handed it off to Stewart. Stewart, the long bomb to the top of the square.
Oh.
And in the end, a lot of white. And it should be Tony Unley jets to clear. Should be.
Free kick, Tony.
Yep, so just holding up play in the back pocket. Is that our man again, is it? Stevens, do you reckon? No, he's a bit taller. So left footer, just trots around the boundary. Bit of a nothing kick, really, just a big pack forms. And now why can't we see more of that, Michael Rander? That's what you're there for, son, and that's a good grab. I don't know about the kick, though. See you in hospital. Oh, and just playing for it a little bit, and maybe not playing for it. He's been chopped in the
he's a tough player.
There.
He's a tough player, Aaron Stewart.
Is that Stewart? Yeah, one of their better players. So
yep.
it might be a target, and he's just got the jumper up. So I apologise. That was a fairly decent blow. Player just arguing with the umpire there, Mitchell Minns. You've transgressed, son. Now this is good to see. A smart ruckman. He says, "I'll come and stand the mark." Tallest man on the mark. So the visual for him is got to kick over the top of it. Left footer trots in 2 or 3 kicks. And that is a sausage roll. Athelstone ground absolutely erupts as they put a goal on the scoreboard. And look at that scoreboard ticking over. Or should we say that man over there is just changing the numbers. 3 goals 2 to 4 goals 10. And we'll go to Ben on the boundary.
Boys, you can really feel the excitement down on the Athelstone bench here. They know it's a big game for them today. They're up and about.
Well, they are up and about indeed. They've had the last 5 inside 50s. The ball has not been able to breach the Unley forward 50 in the last 5 or 6 minutes. So Athelstone on a bit of a roll here, boys. 3 goals 2. They're only 2 goals behind. Anything can happen. Let's see how Big Randy goes in the ruck. That time he wins it. Its ball spills to the wing.
Oh.
Bit of congestion. Riley Fireman,
it's on.
The firefighter has had his head ripped off. Goes back. Wow. The boys got a little bit willing there, but anyway, the firefighter's got it. He keeps the ball low. Much better kick. I like that. Looks like it might be Stevens, is it, over there on the far side? Kicks. This is the long kick, looking for Finlayson.
Ooh.
Free kick there, boys. Umpire in a bad position, didn't see it. Should have been in the back. Would have been a good passage of play for Unley. It's not. It's now been cleared by Athelstone. Ball outside 50. Short down the line. Phil, it's a nice kick towards Rander. He's dropped a few chest marks today, big Luke Rander.
Yeah, luckily he had a teammate there. And that's not exactly your textbook kick. It will go down as an effective one, though, because James Davies has picked it off. He shook off his opponent. He's kicked it inside 50, and Chad Wood has marked 45 out. And I'll tell you what, it was an ugly start. A drop mark, a wobbling grubber kick. But it's turned out to probably be one of Athelstone's best moves up forward all afternoon.
Chad Wood.
Yeah, I think you picked that too earlier, that Rando's sort of given a couple of... It looks like a half effort. I'm sure he's trying, but just down low, he's not real flash. Away you go, Phil.
That we'll have to get Ben to ask at half time. So are you giving a full effort or a half effort? See what happens.
The skipper won't appreciate
No,
that.
Wood comes in 45 out. This to make it a really close contest, and he's missed. That has been the story of the afternoon. We get excited, and we've just been continually let down. Tony Neal.
And I'll tell you what I have liked in the last few minutes. Michael Randa, the big fella here he is too. They're going to kick towards
29.
him. He has willed himself into the game, and that's what he should be doing. He hasn't followed the ruckman this time, so they're going to come short, but he might be on for the next kick. Visual pressure, I like that. So that is
Gara.
Moriello.
Oh,
Moriello it is with it. So just nice pinpoint kick, but where to? It's got to hit a target. Mop up Athelstone, please. And they don't. So out it comes, just bobbling around. And look, the better teams will get hold of that ball. Bobbling around, so it's still not going anywhere. This player's really got into it now. Is Davies, another one that's willed himself into it, just off one step, and number 13 kicks to number 13, and number 13, James O'Sullivan. We haven't called a lot of, but that was a really strong, courageous mark, Sean.
That was a great mark, and then he's kicked it to the back pocket. This is probably where you'd like to see Unley just try and get some flow coming out of their back 50. They've been a bit stagnant, particularly this quarter. They go back in the middle, back where it started with James O'Sullivan. He now goes out the far side. Handballs across to Luke Heaslip. We liked his game. He kicks the ball forward to Riley Firefighter. Inboard, nice kicked. Jacob Earl, son of the Duke. And the Duke's got it now just in the middle of the ground, and it looks like Scar has got it, the left footer. Watch this kick, boys.
Been
He's
good, hasn't he?
Best kick out on the ground by the length of straight. Watch that. Look at that, as if on cue. Right. Unfortunately, there was an Athelstone player in the way.
I shuddered as soon as you said it. He's a great kick. Meanwhile, picked up by the Jets. A shot on goal by the line is going to bounce. No score. Going to be a throw in front of the, what's that? The Teachtree Gully end, the Houghton end. The Houghton end.
How did he not see that Athelstone player? I didn't see him either, to be honest with you.
No, I was just too busy shuddering at your comment.
It's a set play.
Anywhere. Tony, it's a throw in once they find the footy.
It is, and that's a set play, Sean. He's the best kick in on the ground at the moment, so kick it to the opposition, so it was just a foil. That's what it is. You're going to see that some of these games. So players are just jostling for position here. It's no good when the ball's not there. I can't even hear it comes. They've taken it out of me boot. There's that short drop I was talking about. Someone get onto it. Anyway, out it comes. Nice kick. I like that. Very measured. This boy has to bring himself into it as well. Alexander Davies. Not telling the coaches what to do, but for goodness sakes, bring him up the wing, you blokes. Anyway, this is what he can do. He's down the ground. Let's see his kick. It's going to go over the top. Yours, Ben? No, not quite. So down it comes, and just a straight-out turnover. He's come into play as well. James O'Sullivan switches the play. I've liked that. Is that Scara there? Now, that's what, Sean, you were talking about earlier. That's the kick, and that's the set play. So, see, Langford's had to come up the ground again to give him a target, but, geez, there's no one out there near Straps. He's hit his straps. No, he hasn't. They've turned it over. Looks inside. I like that. Lifted the eyes and looked. Couldn't quite get hold of it. Someone needs to mop that up. Very clever. Now there's a player out here. Missed the target again. Don't wait for it. It's not going to come to you. You have to go and get it. Now they're free. Yep. Up he goes. Couldn't keep his feet. Probably ran the wrong side then to get that kick, didn't he, Sean? He probably could have come inside there.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm not sure why the young fella Stevens waited for the footy there, but the ball's crisscrossed all over the ground, boys, with ill effect. Neither side has been able to string 4 or 5 possessions in a row together, and it's been the turnovers that are killing. Yeah, it looks like Stevens is blowing pretty hard here.
He's on his own, that's what he is.
Yep, he's hiding. Look like they're going to come down the line. They do, long down the line, and looking for Langford again. Oh, he's got a bit of a nudge out. Randa should have taken that one. Good tackle by Tommy Langford. And we'll see a ball up on the wing, middle of the ground, and we're on again.
Well, we're into time on. Athelstone have kicked 2 goals, 1. Unley have kicked 1 goal, 2. So the Ruggies have won the quarter. Going to what we think is the scoring end this afternoon towards the right of screen. Tony, you've seen something, an interchange.
Just the ruckman roaring in. Have a look at him.
Randa comes in with great enthusiasm.
There, push into him now. Push into him. That's what we want to see. Don't let him get a run at the ball. Sorry, Phil.
No, fair point. It gives us a chance to look at this ruck contest. So
short drop
clash
again.
now, and umpire says, well, he blew the whistle. Play on advantage. I'm not sure what you're. Mitch Minns has centred it. But they're not centering with skill. And if you're going to centre the ball, create the chance of a turnover, you better be on target. This is Marinello, who sends it forward. One of the youngsters. I think this is Rogers. Boss for Athelstone. Through some hands. Looks a lot of white there. Can't see any blue. Where's the blue? Here it comes.
Oh, nice.
And a nice pick up and fend off by the boundary. The Jets are going to clear, but only as far as Boss, who'll reset for the Raggies.
So Jackson Boz, just his last play, he had a fantastic pick-up off the toenails. Not the best kick into the forwards, but ball just probably ran. Just go back to that. The ball was at his... It was a real hamstring stretcher. Picked it up clean, and off he went. And I really admired that, so I thought I'd mention it. But anyway, no one gives a rat's toss, so back to the game. So ball just bobbling around. He's on the bottom, I reckon, Scar is it? And haven't manned it. Oh, now the umpire's paid a holding the ball against. So players get up.
Against Stewart
now,
is.
Can they build it? It's just a quick handball, which
Kane
then
Nurton.
becomes a panic kick though. Goes to the side where he's outnumbered, 2-on-1. Brereton, it is just now that's a very valuable fingernail, one might say. I'll tell you what, Stevens it is. Just on that, he was standing in front of us. He's actually a bit taller than what he looks on the ground. He's about 6'1", I reckon.
Yep.
Anyway, they're going in and around, and this is Mins. Does a bit of a basketball bounce, and this is the forward entry that's going to cost you. Kicks it straight to the ruckman. We could pick that as it left his boot. Left-handed handball going outside. I'd like to see him come back inside Athelstone. They've got 2 or 3 players on the inside here if they want. Now they look inside, but that's the kick that's got to hit if you're going to do it. So they're trying, they're endeavouring. Mins a better kick. Good courage shown around they come. Langford too far out. Just chips it up like a golf shot, and big collision of players, and strong mark. Kept his body in line with the ball, and that's Oliver Cheese. Cheese. Man. Cheese.
Cheesy.
Cheese. I like to get it right, Sean, so I'd like to say the whole name, so it's Oliver. So Oliver Cheeseman. So we'll just go to Ben.
Both teams working the rotations quite heavily this quarter, lads. Trying to make sure they've got some fresh players for the last half. We know they've had a few injuries in both camps, so making sure both teams have fresh legs.
Right.
So Cheeseman, he gave that everything, and he, to be honest, they probably need that as a settler, and he's missed it. So they've gone to 4-11, so very costly, 15 scoring shots to 6, and they could be a lot further up. Just as I'm about to pass to Sean there, see Thomas Langford is right out here again.
Yep.
They bring him up the ground when they need to. Athelstone may go the opposite side. Don't come to this side where he is, for goodness sakes. So he's looking. It looks like Langford's actually doing the lead here.
He's going to take the mark in a sec.
So ball comes out, runs the wrong side of the pack, not able to get it on Mascara. Now Athelstone can get away with it. Oh, just a high kick, puts it to space, and Randa it is, the captain, takes a telling mark, then pushes off to play on. Handball puts the player under pressure. He's run on, Randa, but ball out to Chadwood. Shawnee.
Yeah, sorry, I've fallen asleep. I thought I was getting it from the point, and that was 5 minutes ago. But anyway,
Kevin Bartlett.
I've never seen anyone do that for 10 years, and it should have been holding the ball. Wasn't. Play on. Ball stays alive. Kicked off the ground by Daniel Cleese. Keeps it alive. I think the play ended up with James Davies. He's had a very good quarter, and it is, and he's finished with a goal. Straight through the high diddle. Athelstone 4 goals, 3 within 8 points. And boys, it is a game of far and few highlights, but that James Davies' quarter has been exceptional.
That's why I took so long, Sean.
Right.
Because I knew that this kind of action might happen, and I wanted you to call it.
Oh,
sorry, Phil.
I'm not sure if I've gone to a footy game or gone to the dentist's today. It has that sort of thing. You get the end result that you want, but gee, getting there is a different story. Not the cleanest football, but Raggies don't care. I mean, they are in this contest. 8 points the difference.
Correct.
And Jacko looks like he's buying next week at this rate, but there is still a full half to go. Athelstone will go forward. Could they possibly take the lead? It is 8 points. You'd think with just a few goals kicked, 3 to Athelstone, 1 to Unley, not going to be a particularly long time on. So half-time imminent. We're in the middle. Athelstone have some numbers. They now have the football. They've got a visionary hand pass at the feet of Mariella. Was good enough to pick it up. Now they're with Kloos. Kloos, the veteran, tries to settle them down. Finds a target on 50. Inside 50 even. And is this going to be one kick too many? No, it's not. Chadwood has kicked it.
Kane Nurton,
who's already got a goal. And are the Jets just tiring a little bit?
They too look tired. You're right, and the stats show that Athelstone inside 50s, Phil, 12-8 this quarter. Turnovers still very high for both sides, 12-11 in favour of Unley. And Scarra's had 10 disposals.
Big kick with half-time imminent. 8 points the margin. Nurton comes in. We're building it up because he's put it right down King William Street. It is a 2-point footy game. Athelstone, they are 5-3, 33. Unley are 4-11, that's 35. Can you believe what we're seeing here, Tony?
Right on the
Well,
side.
I can see it's half time because I just saw the ruckman just walk on now. I thought, geez, he's not really giving us a lot, but that's because the siren had gone and we didn't quite pick it. So was that his second, I reckon, Kane Nurton?
Yep.
So that's very good. That's a bit of a team lifter coming into half time. 5 goals, 3, 8 shots to 15. But I tell you what, it might just be the lifter that they need. We spoke before the game with the coach about half time and said if you're close or in front, then a little bit of belief goes a long way, because apparently they were pretty close to Payneham Norwood Union last week for a half.
Well, they're within 2 points. In that quarter, Unley kicked 1 goal, 3. Athelstone kicked 4 goals, 1. Converted. Not a lot of opportunities. The goal scorers for Unley Mercedes, Tommy Langford has 2, singles to Josh Stevens and Luke Heaslip. For the Raggies, 2 to Kane Nurton, including 1 on the half-time siren, singles to Daniel Clues, James Davies and Aaron Stewart. We will take a break, regroup ourselves, come back. Tony and Jacko will summarise the match. Ben will give us the thoughts from ground level. We'll have scores around the grounds and stats thanks to Dartfish. Thanks to Sports Interactive and we're filming footy. This is Matchday Live.
One of our great supporters here in the Adelaide Footy League this year is Business Plaza. They do great work helping clubs raise much needed funds. One of those is the Goody Saints. Let's hear from Craig Scott.
The Goody Saints are going to partner with Business Plaza because of their track record, and also they're a major sponsor of the Adelaide Footy League, and they've brought in big companies like Vodafone and Catch Group. We feel we can better engage with our members and our players through the app, and I encourage you to get on board and become a member of Business Plaza.
Hi folks, well we're joined by Josh Giddings from the Pulteney Football Club. Thanks very much for coming down, Josh. Great to have you here.
Tony. Cheers.
I won't go into one of my old clubs, but
One of
a
many.
few years back. Yes, that's correct.
I've been watching these videos, mate.
Oh, mate. So listen, how long have you been captain of the club?
Took over last year. I'm actually co-captain with Dalton
Yep.
Tucker. He's looking after his son tonight, so he can't be here. But we
Okay.
both took
Yep.
it over from Chris Rollins last year.
Yeah,
So
yep.
far, so good.
Big roles, club stalwart, mate, of course.
Absolutely,
played
yeah.
his whole career there, I
Yep.
reckon. And
Great leader.
Great bloke. So, do you have an expanded leadership group along with captain, vice captain, and deputy vice captain?
Yeah, we got a couple of us in there, so I think there's about 3 or 4 other boys in there that will be able to share the load around. So that should be real helpful.
Excellent. Do you have this is a good one, Matthew. Do you have a pre-game address now? Do you do it in the rooms? Do you do it on the ground? Or do you have 2 bites at the cherry?
So for me, I'm definitely not a planned person. I'm more of a I'll pick the vibe and I'll say what I need to say when I need to say it. When I believe it's the right time to say something, I'll chime into the boys. But I don't sort of like to be controlling. I like to let the boys sort of focus in and do their thing, and then when I think I need to settle them in or get them razzed up, I come in to do that as a leader.
That's very good. There's an art to reading people and,
Yeah.
and reading teams and body language. You don't just say, well, it's 5 minutes to go, so I'm going to do it now.
That's exactly right. Exactly
You
right.
go by the feel in the rooms and so on, and of course you've got a co-captain that you'll be discussing that with as well.
And players tend to take
Fantastic.
to that a lot better. They tend
Yes.
to take to that a lot better as opposed to every week, this time, you say this thing sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit monotonous. So,
Wow,
yeah.
good on you. Yeah, I really love that attitude. What is your Saturday pre-game meal or drink? So we'll start again with yourself, Ren.
Yeah, I'll probably just bake an egg sandwich in the morning. I always like to have a couple of killer pythons or something just before the game. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, jeez.
not too much else because I get a bit crook in the guts as well.
Yeah, full of sugar, mate.
Yeah, you need a little bit of a buzz sometimes.
And Josh,
Yeah, we're running a bit of a similar diet, I think. I usually have eggs on toast and then get stuck into a bag of snakes before the game.
Wow. Well, as I said, premiership, guys. So get on to the Snakes if you want to win a premiership. There you go. Interesting one here. So we'll start with you, Sean. What position do you play, and how does this affect your communication with the rest of the team?
Yeah, I just play on the ball mostly, and basically because I get to get around the whole ground, I end up organising most centre ball ups and give everyone on the team a bit of a bake every now and again. So yeah, basically get to talk to everyone, which is good on field.
Yep. And Adam?
Similar. Been midfield for a fair few years, but probably slowly slipping forward now a bit more.
Yep.
So it's probably good to have both of us we switch through there a fair bit, and been able to communicate on ball, a bit up forward, get the guys moving up there, creating some spaces.
That's good. Do you clean them out when you're up forward and just say,
course,
leave it up to me, boys? Fantastic. How would you like your leadership to be remembered? 15, 20 years down the track, you're at a reunion. They're saying, yes, Ruby was in our leadership group back in 2020. What do you think they'll be saying about you? Did you encourage the young ones? Did you lead by example?
Hopefully something good.
Yes.
I'd like to be known as leading by example. I'm coaching the under-12s, so hopefully they remember that I was like a part of the development at the club, and
Fantastic. Well, if you play long enough, you certainly look young enough to play long enough, you'll be playing with some of those girls that you're coaching now.
I'd love to do that.
In a nice way, so that 6 years' time, they'll be 18 and you'll be playing with them, and that will be very fruitful for yourself and for the club.
Yeah.
So fantastic.
That would be cool.
Just an interesting one. Your position? What position do you play on game day?
Throughout centre, but mainly on the wing.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're a speedy one up and down the ground.
I try.
Yeah. Do you like going forward and kicking goals, or do you like to go forward but you also need a captain to be down back?
Yeah, I love getting a few goals. I'm not very good at it, but give it a good crack.
Get down, as we were talking there before, if you get within 40, 50 metres and the big white post come up, well, why not have a look?
It's a bit far for me at the moment.
Yeah, do you play on the Adelaide Uni grounds as well?
Yeah,
I can remember. How many teams at your club, including men's and women?
So in the men's seniors, we've got the 4 teams, including 18s, and then in the women's, we have the 2 senior and the 1 18. So they're going well. And the women's quite strong down there, isn't it? You've got, of course, we'll name drop, but Greg Phillips is coaching the women. So have you had any interaction with the women teams in regards to training? Yep, definitely. We like to call our club like a A1 club sort of thing.
Great.
Always we have a couple of sessions during the year to mingle in and make everyone feel welcome. So,
look, that's the unique thing about being a local footy league, isn't it? And it's that integration, and it's one club off the field. I love hearing that sort of stuff. Yeah. So, Brent, what is your Saturday morning pre-game breakfast?
I usually go with a bit of Wheat Bix and always a banana. And just
good.
A Gatorade, and there I go.
Yep. How would you like your captaincy to be remembered down the track when the players all have a reunion? They say, Jack Green, what a captain he was. What are they going to be saying about you?
Oh, look, I'd hope they'd think that I'm a pretty approachable guy, someone that's relatable to. I mean, I like to think there's nothing too special about me at all. So I hope, if nothing else, the boys in the team can look at me and think, he works hard, hopefully, and that's why I hope to leave at the club, just a hard worker and approachable guy. So.
Your legacy, how would you like your captaincy to be remembered down the track at the reunions?
Yeah, I'd love to be remembered as a bloke who brought everyone together, the A's, B's, C's and the 18s, just real community, approachable sort of bloke that, brought everyone together, and possibly a premiership captain as well.
Oh, very good, I like it. All right, Jared, thank you very much for coming down, mate, and best wishes for the season moving forward.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Hey Jeff, where do you get your shoes?
Catch! Catch! Catch!
Catch.com.au. Screaming good deals.
Catch!
Where'd you get that perfume?
Catch.com.au. Screaming good deals.
Catch! Where did you get that bag?
Catch.com.au. Screaming good deals.
Catch!
Yep. Well,
where are they going to build it exactly?
welcome back, everyone. We're back. Hope you enjoyed your half-time break. It's a close one here. A 2-point margin in favour of the visitors, the Unley Jets. Let's talk to Jacko and Tony. Your thoughts on that first half and some stats which are coming up shortly.
Well, the stats showed probably a much better effort by Athelstone the second quarter. You look at the inside 50s, they almost reversed what happened in the first quarter. So first quarter, Unley 15 inside 50s to 8. That quarter, Raggies 13 to 8. 14 to 11 from turnovers. The boys, and that's probably the stat that stands out to me. Yep, the hit outs, they reversed that in the second quarter to Athelstone 11 to 4 and 11 to 8 in the tackles. But it's been the turnovers, guys. 25 turnovers in that second quarter. It was a game of turnovers, and both sides, have got a long way to go to be competitive in Division 1. Based on, and they want to hammer them while they're down. And this is a free kick this year, so it's probably a good idea to get some games into some kids. But at this stage, what we've seen today, they're both sides a long way off Division 1 final standard.
Yeah, and I look at those stats there, quarter 1 to quarter 2. It's almost is a mirror image. The hit outs, tackles. We noticed last week Port District, their tackling, especially inside 50, was very prominent. That's where some of the turnovers come from. But I was mentioning off air there, Sean, the patterns of play, you'll see a team get 2, maybe 3 kicks in a row, and they'll reach the centre of the ground, then there's the turnover.
Yeah.
And it goes back the other way. So it's both teams that are doing it. And I guess from mine, I'm happy to see Athelstone play courageous football and try and get it inside rather than just bomb down the line. But we've noticed players have run boundary side rather than inside down here and kick the ball on the full. Some just basic errors. I know they're under pressure and everything, but just some basic areas. And sometimes the work on the ground, just pinpoint kicks that should hit when there's lack of pressure, they're the turnovers that I don't really like as a coach when you see things like that happening. And if you're not adept at that week in, week out, then work on it at training, and you can put that kind of pressure on at training and just keep working at it. And we saw, as I said, Port District, 15, 20 metre kick, but hit a target.
Yeah. Too many forward entries for Unley have been just long bombed. We saw early in that quarter they were able to hit a couple of guys on the lead. So the first 5 or 6 minutes I thought, hello, they've had a chat at quarter time about the fact their forward entries have been too deep and too high, and looked like there would have been a real change, but then it fell back into the same thing from then on, and it hasn't been effective for them. I mean, if you try and think about the amount of times Finlayson or Langford have taken the big mark in a half. Now, Langford, I'm impressed with his competitiveness. He's working extremely hard, and so is Finlayson. But tell me how many marks they've taken inside the 50 from those long bombs, Phil.
Not enough at the moment. Thank you, Tony and Jacko. Let's look around Div 1. You can see there 3 points in favour of Princes of Brighton Oval. Close one up the road at Campbelltown, where St Peter's lead Rocks by 9 points. The Falcons lead Port District by 11, and 1 point the difference between Goody Saints and Adelaide Uni.
Big game, that one, Phil.
Just some very quick scores around the other divisions. In the men's, Div 7, Adelaide Lutheran leads Central United by 69. Div 6, it is Blackfriars leading Elizabeth by 20. Div 5, West Croydon over Salisbury by 34. Paraka, haven't they had a tough week? Beat Fitzroy leading Fitzroy by 15. Lockleys leading by 10 goals over Smithfield. Must have enjoyed our visit.
From the show.
Kenilworth leading Colonel Light Gardens by 3. Div 4, Tony would love this one. Pembroke leading Pulteney by 12. Jeps Cross by 31 over Woodville. Mitcham by 19 over Morphy Parks. Take us to Div 3. We've got North Haven over Edwardstown by 36. Some close ones in Div 2, where it is Foss over Glenunga looking for their first win by 1. Broadview over Scotch by 5. Sacred Heart over Tea Tree Gully by 7. And Henley over Salisbury North by 10. That's the scores around a big day in the Adelaide Footy League third quarter.
Take a breath, Phil. All I've got to do is call Randa. I know I'll get one of them. One of them's in the ruck and Holiday. So just a quick hack out of the pack, but that's forward for Unley Mercedes. Oh, nice elevation there. Player sort of waited for that ball to come in a nice way, if that makes sense. And nice kick in, but just that high delivery again.
Too long.
Doesn't give the forwards much opportunity. Should clear. I'll tell you what Athelstone have done well is they've ran well out of their defence like this, but it's this next kick, if they at all get this kick in. Now let's just see, here's my little thing for the day. Has the boundary umpire swapped sides, or is he still on this side? Is it going to be a short throw? And where are the ruckmen? There he is now, big Randa. So he comes in, he's in position. They're off each other, Sean. They're not given a body on body or anything. Now there's a little bit of a belt.
Tony, COVID.
That's what it is. It's a COVID ruck tap. So, they're inside 50 here. Now they're outside. Oh, and just a quick drop. He's still inside at half time, that lad. And that's a throw, son. So take it away, Sean.
Yeah, that's Stevens. Didn't take the ball cleanly and then gave it away. So he started the game exceptionally well, Josh Stevens, but just would probably like to have his time again with that play. And it's coming out from Kane Nerton off the half-back flank. And he kicks poorly out in the forward. Not his strength field kicking, to be brutally honest with you, Kane. I was expecting to see a big improvement from where he was, but I've seen him shank a couple today, and that's no exception. Long from Unley into the forward line, as we see all day. Finlayson underneath that ball, not able to control it. Nice crumb off the bottom of the pack. Goes to the hot spot, looking for Langford. Now that is one of the highlights of the game. That is a fantastic mark under some real heat. And it looks a little bit proppy getting up, Tom Langleton. We know he's got a dodgy knee. Payneham Norwood Union thought he was finished a few years ago with his knee, but he's been able to continue on, and I'm impressed with his mobility today, but he looks okay. He's going back, and this is for his third fill, I think.
He's kicked two.
He's kicked two, and this is about exactly the same spot as his previous two, so I'll back him in from here. Lovely soul, other than the KG stutter. Lays it down beautifully off the boot. Looks exceptional. Oh, my God, I'm never going to call a goal again for the rest of my life, Tommy Langford.
He resurrected himself
Give
from
me
the knee.
something, Tommy.
The amputation, and he just one of the best points ever scored.
Well, it wasn't because of your setup, Jacko. Put it that way. You set it up beautifully. Ben on the boundary.
Thanks, Phil. One of the things to really look at today is the press. Tone and I spoke about it off air, but both teams are really putting in a hard press. Unley, you could see then, every player was in the Athelstone half just before that kick in. So have a look at that one, boys.
Luke Randa with the mark. His kick is inside forward 50 for the Raggies, first time in the third quarter. I reckon there's been a free going to the boys in blue, and it's going the way of Cluse, who has a goal. Where are they going to line him up? Well, this is gettable.
He's then known as the inspector.
Yes.
They say he's got no clues, but he's going all right.
So he's already kicked the goal. Mouth guard into the sock. And whilst we have a quiet moment, just think about this. This could make it a 2-point game. Comes in to restore the half-time margin. That is a beautiful kick. That's how it's done when you're 45 metres out. Cluse has 2, Raggies have 6. And we've got ourselves a nail-biter. Tony Neal.
Well, that missed by Langford there, and good to see Athelstone. Bang, 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 down the ground. And there's the goal. Langford will be paying for that. So, very good to tell you. Interesting with that kick. Only spun about 4 times. It looked like that was in slow motion. So, but a nice goal there. So, back in the middle now is Jack Holiday. And he's... Yeah, go on,
so
Phil.
just to let you know, I apologise. The scoreboard and our scoreboard don't match at the moment. The ground scoreboard gave that point to Langford as a goal. Our scoreboard is correct, which means it's actually Athelstone in front by 3 points.
For the first time in the game, it is.
And don't worry about things not matching. I wore a brown belt with black shoes today, Phil, so it happens. So here we have Skara now.
Oof.
Oh, he's gone out wide, like that is wide, and that could be almost one of the best marks that we haven't seen. So he's looking back inside. So this is interesting. It's gone up and back.
Oh, Kabaz has been killed.
He's been kebabbed, mate. That's what he's been done. It's
been
play
skewered.
on. And number 11 there kicking forward. For them was the other Kabaz. And he's still down, James. Just for those at home, he's up now. So here they go, Athelstone. So it's this kick that has to hit. That's better. Now they can set up from here, but please don't come into centre half back. That's all I ask. So get a switch. Well, they've got 15 across here. Look, they've got a pocket. Don't put it into the hot spot where it's not required. Get out of there, number 13. There you go. So difference between commentating and barracking, isn't there? And at the moment, I've got them both. So here we go. They're loading up now off the... Oh, just nice little run up there off the half-back flank and kicks long down the wing to a crowd of 15 players and over the back. Just too easy for Unley Mercedes, Sean.
Yeah, it was and it is, and they've got the ball and they go back down exactly the same line where it came from. Not sure, but that's Finlayson making a very good, strong contest. Is it Finlay or Finlayson?
Yeah, Finlay on the sheet.
Finlay, I think.
Finlay, is it?
I don't know. You told me the name, Jack.
It is Finlay. I don't know what I was just thinking about when he has babies.
He's the son of someone.
And when he has a baby boy, that'll be Finlayson. We move it on. Nice off the left foot, and that's our favourite, I think. Heaslip kicks it long. And Langford again.
Got away with it.
Ever since I said we haven't seen him take a mark under a long ball.
Well, you get to call it. You're the hex.
Langford's kicked too. And I tell you what he has done, boys. Of the 4 marks he's taken, they've been pretty much 30 to 35 metres out directly in front. And he's kicked 2-1 of those. And please don't let me down this time, Tommy. I'm backing you in from here, 20 metres out directly in front. Head over the ball. Head too high there. But he steers that straight through the middle. And that puts Unley back in the game when for a while they were looking shaky.
Some may say, Sean, between the posts.
Correct. Wednesdays.
Yeah. And we'll have plenty to talk about, all the Div 1 action. And the whip around.
Oh, the Paraka story won't go away, Phil.
And a change to the Div 1 and 2 final structure, season structure as well. We're going an extra week doing another broadcast or two.
Yep, more money in the bank.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it?
Ching ching.
It's not about the money,
and of course we do thank our great sponsors. This broadcast brought to you by catch.com.au, screaming good deals and really good money. Thank you so much. As it's in the
Look at
middle.
Alejandro, he isn't stopped grinning.
Have a look at Lander here, very quickly back to the game. Michael Lander, when he wants to go, he goes.
Right.
And he put in there, you keep going back to your story now. I just wanted to...
That's okay,
just
thank you for that.
at
We're
it.
in the middle. I'm waiting for something to break
Yeah.
loose. So it's a tap down. That was by Michael Randa, but we're still in the tea saucer in the middle here. Glorious day. If you're not in Adelaide, you're missing out.
You want a bit more physicality from him, Tone, don't you?
Well, I was just looking, both wings have come in as well.
Giving away free.
Now they're off down the ground.
Go for it, Tony.
Yeah, Jack Holiday, was I supposed to? Anyway,
Go
Holiday it is. So he kicks square. So, I'm not real sure that this is the best way home. They go outside to come inside. Now it's a direct kick to centre forward and pushing out as Langford, not able to take it on the chest. Bobbles his ball his own way, but couldn't quite get it back was Kabaz. Just a panic kick in there, and I haven't mind him, Jake Westover. Now we see Randa, he's directing play, calls the player up, kicks that way, it goes over the back, a mop up here only you'd think. Nice little chip kick on the left foot, that was a very nice kick actually. Jack Lewis, haven't called him much. Another left footer inside, they're playing with a left footed ball, that's what it is. So in it comes,
James
O'Sullivan, that's a big kick. And look, this is the run, get onto it son, it'll bounce up for you. Someone come and support please. And around on the left, he goes back 30 metres, and they're going to get a ball in the centre of the ground. Now they can set up, Sean.
Scar has got it, looks upfield. Hopefully he doesn't just bang the ball long. You watch this. Yes, he's trying to organise a bit of space. He's calling someone to lead for him. In the end, he's forced to go long, high, wide, and turned over. Unfortunately, that's ended up with our mystery man, Henry Stevens.
Unfortunately, when you're giving hand signals out on the ground, everybody can read them, friend and foe.
Yep, correct. Anyway, Jack Lewis, our River Murray representative from last year, kicks long to the pocket. And Tommy Finlay, not related to Tommy Finlayson.
Yeah, Finlay Tom, it's got on the sheet, so probably not much in the alphabet between S and T, Sean. So
No.
we can see where torn.
It's
We
going to
can
be
see where you're coming from.
Going to be a difficult shot, but I might let you call this one, Phil, because see if you can bring this one home for the Jets.
Because you ever know, like he's by the boundary. At South Adelaide, you kicked it from the boundary in the 50-yard, mate. You got $1,000. So will he get the money? No, he won't, because it's going to fall short. I don't know, Jacko. I don't even get a score, let alone a miss.
I think we call that the Phil Herden flank. That one.
Yep.
You get to call them from when it's down in that area, Phil. That's your spot now.
I had a guy actually fake me out on that south kick one. He turned up with his arm in a sling, so I gave him an extra 5 metres, and sure enough, he slotted it. There went the $1,000. Anyway, from the boundary line, it goes straight back there. Another throw in, Tony. Take over before I give away more.
And it is. It's about 20 metres around from the goalposts there. As young man just stands up. Yes, I can see you, sir. In he throws this umpire, and because it drops short again. Jeez. So, ball just bobbling around there. Can they get their hands to it? Oh, quick handball. I'll tell you, he's been lively too, is Andrew Cabaz. Puts his body in, can't quite get it. And so we'll see a free kick coming out of it. Athelstone's way. Now, the players spread out. There was a lot of players around that pack. They've spread wide as well. I like to see this. It's not going to get used, but you call that sacrificial running and take your opponents away from their game plan. So he's just going to come down the line. You want to hope for a clunk. There he is. Now, come on, Umpy. I'd pay that just for effort, Sean, but you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that, but it's good, though.
It was good, but... that's head high all day, every day. Is he awarded it? Yep, Heaslip's got the ball. Once again, too high with the kick going forward, boys. It's a great tackle by Liam Ryan. I haven't called his name a lot today, but that was an absolute ripping tackle, and got pace to burn. They call him Diesel. Young Liam Ryan, ball up inside the 30. Langford taking the ruck work. It's been in everything for Unley. Ball just heading towards the boundary line. Very difficult to see here now. No, ball it manages to spill out. Tackling from both sides. I think they both realise there's a game on the line here. At the moment, Unley up by 3 points after Athelstone hit the lead for the first time in the game about 5 minutes ago. Boundary throw-in. We've got some real pressure. You've got some heat on.
Low scoring game. Just the one goal kicked by both sides at the moment. 12 minutes into the third quarter. Just waiting for one team to clean up its skill or convert an opportunity. Right now it's with Athelstone. They're going to clear it off defensive 50. This is not where you want to have a turnover. Well taken by Boss. He's going to clear it out on the outer side. Has a free man. Finds the target, and the Raggies are away. Jake Westhoff has it. Can he find the link man up forward? Bit of pressure from behind. James Davies couldn't take the mark. Now it's with Luke Render. Couldn't get the kick away. And the Jets have recovered. We'll bring it out the near side. They have some space here for Nicky Stewart. He's going to kick it down towards the forward 50 arc, and a nice grab taken too far at the score by Langford. Who's he going to kick it to? And in the end, is that our man Finlay?
No, it's not Finlay. No, it's
Heaslip. He was our man, but just the wrong name. I think it's too far out for him.
Doesn't look confident, Phil.
Body language is usually a great indicator. This is, as you said, Jacko.
Have a look at the legs. There's not much on them. Lucky legs, Luke. Heaslip.
Now he's found his lead. And if there's not a mark, there's a free. Luck's a fortune, and Liam Ryan's going to have a shot.
So I like that. He realised that he couldn't quite kick it, and so he's looking for the lead. He looks a bit sore, Liam Ryan, though, doesn't he? Right shoulder.
Ribs, I reckon.
Ribs?
Maybe. Yeah, something down there on the right side. Maybe the lot.
So you can see we're right behind it. Your crew today, thanks to Sports Interactive and Filming Footy. As we speak, Unley with just a 3-point lead. Raggy's coming home to the scoring end, so a big kick. And he has sprayed it from 30 metres, if that, out. It's 5-13, 43, the Jets. Athelstone, 6-3, 39.
And Morello kicking it in, Tone.
Yes, it is. It's a long way to Morello too. So there it is. Little kick. Oh, handball dangerous in that pocket, and mopping up his Heaslip. He had opportunities there to give it to anyone, and there's a very bad mistake made.
Scara.
Just with that handball, and Scara it is on the left foot, and I'm just going to throw here to Ben. We've noticed, Ben, a lot of players pushing up the ground, is it?
Yeah, definitely. Still working on that full press. Every player was in the Unley half that shot on goal. Just noticed as well, boys, Langford's just come off. Not sure if that's a rest. I'll keep you updated on that one.
You reckon he might have pulled himself off, or do you reckon the coaches took him off?
Out of breath, I think. He had hands on head there, so might be just a blow.
Couple of interesting stats, boys. Inside 50s, Unley 8-2 this quarter, and clearances 5-0. So all stats in Unley's favour.
And finally, they put something on the scoreboard.
So can Athelstone answer? So there's going to be a handball out the back here by Clues. That's good. Give it to the player that's got vision, just not the skills. So it's really it's on the wing. He has been excellent. I've loved him. Andrew Cabaz this quarter. Gets it forward at least for Unley. Can they capitalise? And strong tackling. God, he latched on there like a pit bull. And he's given one. Someone's copped one in the comic cuts. And he's in a little bit of trouble back there. And umpire's just going to do one of these shorter throw-ins. As he does, there it goes. It's going to drop in front of you, boys. So Pac Mills in the middle there. And
he's a unit, isn't he? Henry Stevens, he's a big unit.
Yes. Yep. So just goes towards the boundary again. We're going to see another throw-in. It is an absolute, folks at home, it is an absolute perfect day for football today. Weather, we've got the hills up there, not a cloud in the sky. We've just got an umpire that drops that ball a touch short again. And in they come. Oh, as the galloping man comes past and holding his hamstring there, was he?
That's Brodie Dickinson, who was playing in the Rezzies earlier.
That's correct too. Thank you, Phil. Another player coming off, another one. Quick change there for Athelstone. That's how you do it, right when the ball's right there. So up he goes. I've liked him, Holiday. He hasn't. He started elevating and he hasn't dropped away, Sean.
No, he hasn't. And I'd like to see that boundary umpire maybe come in 5 or 6 metres to throw the ball, much like they do in the AFL, so we get some corridor footy. Because all we got at the moment, boy, is what was that? That was a ball that went at 30 degrees from the field umpire. So, but that kick has just gone offline for Unley, and that takes them to 6 goals, 14, boys. That's a lot of points. Morello to kick the ball in. He has had leather poisoning just from the kick-ins today. He's had 14 kicks.
It's a long
He's
way.
good off the boot, though. Let's see.
Morello.
I'd like to see him come this side.
Oh,
but
now you're giving requests.
not to the boundary line.
Look at the lead off the bench. Number 7, he's come off the interchange bench.
And he's good in the air, Kane Nurton. He'll mark this. No, he doesn't, but he gets the free kick anyway for holding on. Let's get a fast play, Athelstone. Let's move the ball quickly for a change. Thinks about it, still holding on to the ball. My God, everything's closed down. Plays on and just bangs the ball. Rubbish football. Tony?
It's not me, Sean. It's Phil.
No, you're calling me Tony. Gee, okay. Yeah, look, it is a game that's never got to great heights. We're waiting for it. And I think what makes it interesting is purely the fact that it's close. And Jacko's frustrated because he tipped a 15-goal win to the Jets, which, look, could still happen. But the Raggies are showing something. Some good passes of hand pass on that occasion. The spearing kick misses the target. It nutmegs the defender. It's at the top of the goal square. Jets have it and can breathe a sigh of relief as they kick it into some space. Bouncing footy. Running hard for it was Henry Stevens. He got it on to Hatsy. I'm going to call him all day. And Hatsy's found Luke Randa, who's going to have a shot on goal. And if successful, could reduce the margin to within a straight kick.
But he only just missed that mark a moment ago. He's got a chance here to redeem himself, Phil.
I always worry about the big men and their kicking. Seb Gilhouse is one that particularly comes to mind.
Please.
Who then, of course,
married it first.
Got fame outside of football.
Oh.
His kick's not too bad. He's made a mockery of me. And he's put Athelstone right into this football game. He's got his first. Athelstone go to 7 goals, 3. That's 45. Only a 6 goals, 14. That's 50. Tony, we're within 5 points.
I'll tell you what, we are too. Look at it, 10 shots to 20. You got something for us there, Ben?
I do. Both teams really working the interchange. There's been about 4 changes for both teams in the last 2 minutes. So I'll keep watching that one for you. But at the moment, it's been 6 this quarter for Unley and 5 for Athelstone.
Any chance you can get Michael Dowdy at 3/4 time, like you promised to, Ben?
I'll do my best.
Righto.
He might have to talk to the team,
good luck.
Sean.
At the end of the break.
And Langford's back on as well, so they want the big spearhead up there. So here we go, right in the middle. The wingers on this side are out of it. The wingers on the other side are just back off the ball about 45 degrees. Crowd's getting involved down here. Just a good old-fashioned footy. They're having a dip here, Athelstone. They've got a sniff.
Tony Sullivan's been
They've
giving
got a
us,
sniff.
Tony
That's what it
Sullivan's
is.
been giving us score updates from Campbelltown. What's the thought? He might come down and have a sneak at his raggies.
Through the bottom of his schooner glass, I reckon. Past players down there.
He's deserted these old clubs, Tony Sullivan.
So-
That's a beautiful kick off the left boot.
And that was Cabaz, and that was the second effort. Oh, it's still in play. So they're going around and around. He'll probably get it back in the middle here. No, he doesn't. Oh, nice big jukes there. Who's that? The big number 23, is it?
Finlay?
Finlay Tom?
Finlay son?
I think it may be.
Finlay
yeah.
son.
That'll be his new
He's
nickname,
Japanese.
Finlay
He's
son.
giving us Japanese commentary. Finlay son.
Here he is.
Oh, it's not him
no,
anyway.
it's not. It's
Johan Ayanasan.
Ayanasan. Yeah, downhill skier.
Ayanasan.
So, who called that? Oh, well, I'll call it. So he's about 40 out. That's what happens when you don't take a breath. Just trots in, gives it height. Floats through. No, it doesn't. Punched over the line by...
No,
it's a goal. Although the Athelstone goal umpires down there in blue and white gave it a point, but there's a goal. So, geez, I'll tell you what, we got a little bit of a ding-dong battle on here.
We have indeed, and back into the centre square, we got Holiday. I don't think he's had a spell at all at this stage, Jack Holiday. He's done power of work. He's up against the second Randa brother, and of course I speak of...
Mike, well, there's
Correct.
Michael, there's Luke, and there's Blake. So
Blake
there's two.
it is.
Okay.
Righto, good call, Phil. But let me call this one.
Number 17.
Really important for Unley to get this ruck contest away. They do. Ball's taken by Unley, swept off the back by Jacob Earl. Goes wide to the wing towards Stevens, not able to keep the ball in. Athelstone get the ball back on their terms. It's Braden Cross with the footy now. Goes inboard to Blake Randa. He kicks long, looking for Chad Wood, not able to keep the ball in. Gee, what do we think about how would we be today, boys, if we had the SANFL rule about last touch out of bounds? It'd be a good day to have it. Scores, check. Athelstone 8-3, Unley 7-14. You work it out at home how much the difference is, because my maths aren't that good. Boundary throw in. And Athelstone off the back of the clearance, ends up with Nerton around the body. Good kick. Runs underneath the footy, does Alexander Davies. Needed to hold his line there, but swept away by Damon Arnold. Nice footy down the line. Can he find a target? He can't. But they keep it alive through Johan Ayanasan. He's going long, looking for Liam Ryan, who's showed a little bit in times this quarter. But Big Henry mops up as he's done all day today. Langford keeps the ball afloat, but unfortunately goes out. But a good contest there by all players in the Unley forward 50.
I was just going to say 2-on-1, that was all.
2v1 Langford, yeah.
So this quarter, as we just do a little bit of reconciliation of our scoreboard, Unley have kicked 3 goals, 3. Athelstone have kicked 2 straight. So, again, non-scoring end, converting opportunities, what they have, and they're keeping in touch.
Yep.
From the ruck tap, Athelstone will get the clearance. Good luck picking the player in the middle of that pack. Leaping onto the ball now is Alex Davies. He hand passes back to Braden Cross. Probably wishes he didn't. And is upended out of bounds for a throw. And on the outer side, where there's plenty of cars in congregation.
Liked his game, Alex Davies. He's since scored at the time. He's been good, hasn't he? Lively type.
Just watching him, his work rate's really good. He's up. He's 60 metres off again. Go on, Phil.
So we got a throw in. Where are we? We are just the Jet side of centre wing. 23 minutes gone of a 5-goal third quarter, so you'd think maybe 5 or 6 minutes left. And holding the ball, did not attempt to get rid of it. Here come the Jets. They stream through the middle. Dainty kick inside 50 with precision. And Langford has marked. I almost feel like throwing this to Jacko to call.
He's done that well. The kick was actually a little bit high, but he protected the ball drop zone beautifully, didn't he? Stuck his big fat backside into the defender coming in from behind, and he's ended up again, boys, with that kick 25 metres out from goal. Phil, you call it.
Alrighty, he's straight in front. The Jets with an 11-point lead. Chance to get a bit of a cushion back before Athelstone come home to the scoring end. 20 from G, check out. That's a double stutter. Puts it high and got it.
Wow, we got...
Goal umpire kept us in great suspense. Jacko's in disbelief. How can Phil call a goal and all I get is behinds?
I can't believe how close he kicked it to the man on the mark.
Well, that's for to Langford.
He was well within range. He put himself in danger of getting the ball touched. But, hey, clearly, guys, he's been the best big man on the ground by the length of the straight. 4 out of 8 says enough there. But it's also been the way he's competed when the ball's hit the ground. Numerous times he's been caught on 2-on-1s. He's been able to make a contest. So I've been pretty impressed with his game today.
So Michael Randa goes up in the middle. I'm going to tell you something in a moment, but round it comes James Davies.
We wait.
Yes, wait with bated breath. I think that's what I can smell anyway.
Garlic.
Anyway, round it comes. This guy's been quite stoic. Dermy Eric Brereton, the biscuit.
They call him Dermy.
The biscuit. So down he goes, down the wing.
Oh.
It's just these big high kicks that aren't helping either side. Now they come inside Athelstone. This has got a hit. Bang, it does. Short kick into full forward and
That's
just walking
better.
out is Randa. And this will be the captain, Luke Randa. Turn around, son, and he does. And he's just going to walk in about 20 metres out. And as he lines up to take this shot, players are just milling around, getting themselves set.
Nice kick from Kane Nerton in towards
Was
Luke
beautiful,
Randa
wasn't
then.
it?
Yep.
Yeah, he's the equivalent of... He's kicked it too, so he celebrates, and they can answer very well. He's the equivalent, I guess, of Andrew Cabaz on the other side, and that's his 2. What I was going to mention, just a little thing. Blake Randa, earlier on in one of the ball-ups there was a ball up, and it came to ground, and his players were milling out. He didn't put a body in and help out. Just a little thing that you can be doing is not touching the ball but helping out, especially being a big ruckman. So he may well have that in his game. I know he's been interchanged at the moment. So
played C grade predominantly last year, so he did
So
a power
still
of
learning.
work in the pre-season, and got himself really fit. So they're happy with the way he's progressing.
So Michael Randa now, up he goes. Doesn't get the tap, but they've got it out here. So this is good by Athelstone. Can they capitalise now? Not able to take the ball. Quite stoic in defence. Turns around and really like this player, Alexander Davies. Love to see more of him. Now it's going forward. Courage is needed. Out they come. One handball. Just that spare player, Sean, on the outside of the pack's been handy.
Yeah, one of the things we really haven't seen enough of, boys, is kicking to space. It seems to be kicking behind players. It's just I'd rather see them err on the side of kicking, a long way in front rather than on the head. But this is a nice transition and play out of the back half from Unley. Nice kick from
Cabaz again, I reckon.
Cabaz, was it, or O'Sullivan?
No, O'Sullivan.
Yeah, O'Sullivan. Turned over, unfortunately, but a good effort there by Jack Lewis, who's impressed me the last couple of quarters. It's on towards Tom Finlay. No, is it Big Tommy? Or Ineson, I think, maybe. He's gone short, not able to keep it alive. What's happened to Finlayson, boys? Is he still out there?
Finlay Tom.
Finlay, yeah.
Well, we'll get Ben onto it. He's our intrepid boundary rider as we see Michael Randa. Siren's gone. It is lemon time at Max Amber Sports Field, and we've got ourselves an interesting footy game. Not the highest standard, but the result is still in question. Unley did what they needed to do to the scoring end, kicked 4 goals, 3, but the Raggies stayed in it, kicking 3 without a miss.
You know what's really funny? It tells you the world we're in. You see the water trolley going out, and it's full of just all different types of water bottles. We're used to seeing the same water bottles going out, but with the new COVID rules, every player has to bring his own bottle. And boy, have we got a collection of bottles there today.
And look at the size of the trolley. You could put a steering wheel and a motor on that and ride that around. It's that big.
You could go to Coles and do your weekly shop with that.
Massive.
We're going to take a break very shortly, but before we do, the goal scorers for Unley Mercedes. Tom Langford has 4 singles to Josh Stevens, Anthony Scara, Jonathan Janssen. I think that's right. Luke Heaslip also with a goal. For Athelstone, they've spread it around. 2 to Daniel Clues, 2 to Kane Nerton, and 2 to Luke Randa. Singles to James Davies and Aaron Stewart. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after the break. The final quarter coming up. This is Matchday Live.
the ball.
And welcome back, folks. 3/4 time in our game of the day. Thanks to catch.com.au. Screaming good deals. There's some stats. Jacko, please translate.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, we've said the right of screen has been the scoring end, and it has been the scoring end, but you look at the inside 50s, it's been the side that's kicked to the right that's had more ball inside 15. That quarter was no different. Unley 13-8 weren't quite able to capitalise, much like the first quarter. Very similar. It was 15-8 the first quarter, 13-8, and that was the reverse of what Athelstone did when they had the ball in the second quarter. Turnovers once again hurting Athelstone, 10-7. Tackles pretty similar, and the hit-outs, Unley controlling the hit-outs. So we've had some fair changes in the hit-outs over the course of the day, but Big Jack Holiday doing the job there. Centre clearances pretty even, 5-3, 8-6 in clearances around the ground, and free kicks 7-5 in favour of Unley. Tony, what do you think, mate? This game is evenly poised. 11 points in it, with Athelstone at home, searching for their first win of the year. Big crowd to G him up. Can they do it, Tony?
Well, they can. They've got to want to do it. They're all nice and close. There's no COVID there at the moment, but we're safe here in South Australia. They can, Sean, but it comes down to belief. And as I keep saying, they were up with Payneham Norwood Union at half-time last week, so they're pretty close again now, and a lot of things can happen. I am tipping Unley, but just the heart says, well, I'd like to see Athelstone have a bit of a dip at it. Go on, Phil.
Just before we go to Ben, it is a cracking round in OTR Division 1. We've got the blowout game at the moment, can you believe it?
Wow.
We don't have one between Adelaide Uni and the Saints. It was a 1-point game at the half. Just around the grounds, Port District lead Payneham at Largs Reserve by 9 points. Brighton lead Prince Alfred by 8 points. And St. Peter's lead Ross Trevor at Campbelltown by 1 solitary point. Let's go to our boundary man, Ben Tippett. What have you found out from the huddles?
Sorry, the message over at Unley was to do the simple things, control the footy better. This is a game they should win if they're composed. Athelstone, they're really up and about. They know this is a big opportunity to have a win, and they're going home with the breeze or to the scoring end, so good opportunity for them.
How big's the breeze out there, Ben?
Oh, there's not much. It just seems to be the scoring end to the right, maybe a goal.
Yep.
Well, September last year, Athelstone caused the upset, defeating Unley in the grand final. They get up here, it would be an even bigger surprise. The final quarter about to get underway. Thanks to catch.com.au. Screaming good deals.
And
your
you're
caller
Tony Neal.
is with Tony Neal.
The voice.
And I'll just tell you, the boys next to us have had a few froths and they're about a metre away, so they might be calling louder than us. So up he goes, Holiday, and gives them first use. Off the wing comes Westover. He didn't mind that. Bit of volleyball. Mins it is. He's been all right too. Just this delivery in. That's a high kick, makes it hard for two number 15s going at it out there. Good little battle. Boz was good earlier in the day. Couldn't quite get that one up this time around. Still bobbling around. He's competing. That's what I like, Sean. Second effort there. Umpire's going to call holding the ball, unfortunately. But, geez, he had a bit of a go at it, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't like the contest in the air, to be honest with you. Both players let the ball go over the top of them without a strong enough effort, to be brutally honest. But they're young kids and they'll learn from that. But that is a free kick that's been paid to Unley right in front of goal. And the cheesehead, Oliver Cheeseman's got that. Not sure what cheese and rice, what that was for, Tony. Any idea?
Not sure, Sean. I was listening.
Right, well, it is the Winter Reds Day today up in the Adelaide Hills. I'm sure there's a fair bit of cheese going accompanying the red wine. Unfortunately for Oliver, he's here today. He sinks that straight through the middle, and that gives the Unley Mercedes Jets a little bit of breathing space, folks. They go out by 13 points, 9-14 to Athelstone, 8 goals, 3.
And sink could be the word.
Could be.
Got a long way to get to my 95 points, Phil.
Indeed, just to refresh for all those memories, those tips. It was Tony who's in the box seat, Unley Mercedes by 28, Ben by 45, myself by 62, and Jacko had the Jets by 95.
Oh,
no! Interesting, we talk about scoring ends for the first 3 quarters. We've had 18 goals kicked, 11 to the right of screen, 5 to the left.
That's 16. 11 and 5.
Yeah, and we had 16 for the first 3 quarters. We've had 1 just to the Jets to the left of screen.
Good work.
As we see the clearance, the Jets, you think they get another one, they'll just start to settle into this game. They have the cushion. It's all for Athelstone to do that critical first goal, and getting a little physical out there on the Houghton pocket. I don't think there's anything else out there, is there?
I just must cut in with this one. I see the Boeing 747s.
Oh,
Is it
yes.
the last one with the flying kangaroos gone? That's where your tip might be. The Jets might be in the Navajo desert, Sean, with all the other relics.
No
That's
doubt.
where it might be heading.
No doubt.
Alrighty, after all of that, not much play on the field. Tony, you can take over.
Oh, well, okay. So, they're nice trees over there too, aren't they?
Trees,
Yeah, they're green too. Anyway, up goes the umpire. Nice throw. Over the top again, Holiday. I've loved his game. He hasn't. He's been the same level all the way. Now he's telling the umpire what to do.
It looked like he was
He's
giving
got
him
everything, hasn't he? And he's a good athlete too. If you actually watch when he kicks and handballs, he's some of these guys, it's a long way from hand to foot and so on. They're not the best at it, but he's quite adept at it. So, good young talent there. Short throw in again. Ball to the front. Bit of beach volleyball going on. The spike. So, a kick forward. Geez, that's a hard ball to get hold of. It rolls and rolls. Not able to take it. It's not wet, though. Spun 180. Comes back.
Kabaz.
Got himself in good position, actually, Kabaz, but didn't deliver it. Now, they're looking sideways here, Unley. The only thing... Yeah, so left footer. So, he's going to go down the line. Just, Shawnee, just a bit of a nothing kick to a pack that's already formed. You've got to risk equals reward at this time of the game. There's a nice kick. There's no one near him.
Centre forward's all been opened up for the cheese man. Last goal kicker.
Oh.
And he's found Matthew Mins.
No, that's... Is it?
Pretty sure
Or
it's...
Finlay?
It's the Finlay.
Finlay,
Yeah.
Tommy's come back. Where's he been? Up at the kebab? At the
He's
sausage truck.
Has he been at the barber with the hairstyle?
Once again, boys, the key forward's been able to get the ball inside the posts, which is where you want to be shooting for goal from. And he's about 35 metres out. Almost straight in front. Should be a no-brainer for a right footer. It is. And that's Unley's second for the quarter. It's his second as well, Tom Finlay. And it is now starting to sound very ominous for the Raggies. But can Unley Jets get, that's the thing that's keeping the crowd on its feet, can they get to the 95-point margin?
I've got 2 for Finlay.
Yep.
Anyway, hang on.
Hang on.
We'll work it out. Maybe it is
We'll
his
come
first.
back to you. We go back to the centre bounce.
Was worth 2.
It's got to do a stats question and call play-by-play. But the might have been his... I'll concede, Tony. I think that was his first. I've got him and Cheeseman mixed up.
The Cheesy.
We're back in the middle. Suddenly, Athelstone find themselves trailing by 23 points after the Jets have kicked the first 2, and they've got the ball, and they've got the clearance, and they should have probably had the mark at centre half forward. In the end, Andrew Kabaz couldn't do it. Chance for the Raggies now. Here they come through Henry Stevens. You think they've got to get the next goal. In their way is Dermy Brereton. He gets the hand pass on. They're going to switch sides. We wouldn't want to see a turnover here, and we don't. Ianison, not going to get a turnover, might get tackled. Manages to escape. They're looking for some players in free space, and there's one with nothing but green grass around him. And a chance, Tony, to relieve pressure. Take some time off that half-back flank.
I reckon that was Heaslip with the green, green grass of home in front of him, Phil, and he's kicked it to Stevens. This is how slow the game is. We've got time to sing in between. He's been good, though, Stevens, on the left foot. Nice kick right in front of us. Big pack forms and just unable to get his hands to it there. So Randa and Arnold, he's got a nice kick on him. And, geez, just about clunking that was Bradley Straps. So the ball goes out, just a hack kick out wide. Now they're on, heading straight towards goal. Just a little kick, though, to the pocket. He might have straightened that one up a little bit when you got Langford down there. It'll come back, I'm sure. Anyway, Daniel Clues, he's been in and out this game. Now, that's a more direct kick to a player, and that's a beautiful kick to Jake Westover. Now, they need to use this one. He's got a player free in the middle, looks at him, decides to go long, doesn't hit it correctly. Nice little grab by Stevens. Over it comes. They've got time to mop up. He slip again. Oh, it just stabs at it. Gives it height. This is the problem, though. Langford's here, but he's a long way, and he's looking a little bit fatigued. Calls out a player, calls the player in.
Nice kick.
And this player's had a heap of it, and I reckon it's got Kabaz on that ball next to Sharon. So wheels on the left, goes back.
Bit of mustard
He
on the
slipped.
Kabaz.
Now they're starting to play around. I'm a little bit worried about this because there's the pressure kick, 2-on-1. It's going to come back. Langford's just set himself up 50 out. Kicks to the hot spot where Langford would be, but there's not 2 of them.
Yeah, he conceded that. He put his hand up and he's hobbling a little bit after that. Big Tommy, he's done a power of work. Athelstone out the far side. Clues has got it. And as I said, I've liked his game. Nice short kick finds Morello, who's been busy just from kick-outs as much as anything else. Goes inboard, finds... I can't quite pick who
Sam
that...
Cook.
Sam Cook, the old Ignatians boy, Athelstone Jr. Certainly had a long, distinguished career as Sammy Cook. Got plenty of options inboard. That goes long down the line, which is of no real benefit to them, although Daniel Cluse back again on the footy. And Kane Nerton working hard to receive a handball. They keep it alive, Athelstone. Got numbers there. Nerton this time. Beautiful give on the up. Turned over, unfortunately, by Jack Holliday, and he finds Anthony Scara at centre wing. Phil.
So, Athelstone struggling to move it forward clear. They got a lot of yardage there, but gee, it was pretty ugly to do so. Unley have steadied, as Ben Tippett said. We'll go to him on the boundary at the next stoppage. Little ruck tap onto his... They are starting to...
Lair-eyes.
Yeah, that's the correct spot on, Jacko. Meanwhile, Arman Heaslip, he stabs the kick and... Langford's got to stretch out the groin there. Could be out of action post-game.
Would you have the shot, though, Sean?
Oh, I think you'd be okay to have the shot.
You'd hop in, wouldn't you?
Just a guess. Well, he's on 100 a goal.
He's a forward about to get a bag of 5. Usually if you get 5, you get a mention on between the posts midweek, so he knows there's plenty at stake.
Call it for us, Phil. He's a long way out, mate.
He's a long
He'll
way
get
out,
cramp on the way in.
Guess where he is, though? He's straight in front
Athelstone.
again.
He is straight in front. I mean, look, he certainly has the high percentage shots.
He does indeed.
No doubt about it. And, I mean, he could, if he'd have kicked all of them, he could be approaching a 10-bagger. But this for 5, and I reckon probably to settle the deal, he goes with the traditional stutter. It has the direction, except it's given the post a bit of a shake. And that is the 15th behind for the visitors. They go to 10-15. That is 75. Athelstone 8-3-51.
Interesting enough, boys, we're going Unley going to the left of screen, inside 57 to Athelstone none this quarter.
Yep.
Wow.
Can't score if you don't go inside 50.
And I tell you what, wouldn't surprise me if Langford doesn't pull himself off again, because he's having a bit of trouble with movement out there. So up and down, that is a courageous mark. The boys on the froth next to us are giving a bit, but then didn't say much on that one. So nice kicking. Langford couldn't quite get off the ground there. This time, Bradley Straps it is. Just gets it back, taken down after the kick, but not on. Langford can't quite take the grab. Plenty of crummers here, round on the left foot.
Scara.
Just a hack. Scara it is, and he has...
a goal.
Kicked it. And that is a very good goal.
That's his second, Tony.
We've got the Dartfish player of the game. Ben, did you have some thoughts from the boundary side?
Yeah, just something to keep an eye on, boys. Our mate Heaslip has managed to sort of sneak out the back a couple of times at the start of that quarter. He's very damaging with his skills. I know you guys have mentioned him quite a lot, but he's sneaking out the back. You can't leave a player of his calibre by himself in a close game.
Yep, and Langford and Dickinson making their way to the Pine for a well-earned rest.
Taking himself off.
He's pulled himself off that time, has he?
Yeah. Well, I think he's a bit sore.
Yep.
Just an anomaly, not an anomaly, a little thing there. Nick Stewart, number 16 for Unley.
Yep.
He's after the boats, I reckon, because he's had the socks up for the whole game.
Very experienced player. Nick Stewart's been there for a long time. Stevens ran over the top of the... went over the top of the ball there, but poor tackle has allowed Jacob Earl to get the free kick.
He's had to earn that.
Yep, the Duke. The Duke's got it on the true half-back flank, looking for a switch, nothing doing, goes short now, right in the corridor. Real risky kick, ends up with a turnover. Lovely sell of the pup by Chad Wood. Unfortunately, didn't know the Unley Jets player in Chad Wood, was it? Woodwood?
Jack Lewis, I think.
Oh, Jack Lewis, who's been pretty good with that left foot, switches the play now quickly. Not able to get a play on where they needed to because Matthew Minns is free there, screaming for the ball. But that's a good kick to Kabaz.
Great kick.
11 variety and a handball layoff. We've gone to centre half forward to the big Doc Holliday. He goes inboard looking for Scara. It's not Scara though. It's Durden. It's 16. It's Stewart. Ends up in the half forward line now with Ainason. He's got it. He'll go long, looking, searching. Looking great mark by Morello, I think. Matthew Morello. Been pretty solid all day.
We'll call Jacko. So, he's going to be in trouble with the rugby, but he got the kick away. A low kick, but I'll tell you what, it found the target beautifully. I reckon that was one of the Randers who picked that up, or at least that's the high percentage call. Nurton had it, lost it. Goes to Draper, one of the youngsters, one of the baby raggies. Comes in towards 50. But Jacob Earl is getting a lot of touches in the final quarter.
Nice.
We'll get you guys to work out your Dartfish player of the game. Is Unley. I mean, look, they are in control. They have the ball. They're moving it around. They're creating space. The Raggies are chasing jumpers. All signs are the Jets are going to get up. It's just a case of how far at the moment, unless they lairize too much, and I think they're settling down a little bit. As Menz goes across field and really not showing much intention of going forward, Tony.
No, and they're sharing it around quite well, aren't they? When you're talking about that best player, they're really starting to share it now. Bit of a high kick there from James Kebab, but taken high was the player. He's actually been paid a shepherd against.
That's stiff scar. He's had his head ripped off, hasn't he?
Free. There must have been a what you call a before, before and then an after.
Yeah.
So taking the free, so it's slowed up a little bit. If you're going to slow it up like that, you've got to hit a target. Well, hit a target he does, but it's the wrong team. 2-on-1, just harder at the ball there. Kabaz drove himself towards the ball. There's a high kick in. Yeah, but it's a high kick in, so everyone up and down. Not able to take it cleanly was Jacob Earl. Oh, player flung without the ball, and the umpires let that go. So it's just dribbled into the inside 50. Can they make something of it? Players just trotting around there. Big Rander just picks up and flicks it out. Now they're out, and this is number 4, Liam Draper. Goes down. Oh, nice grab there by the captain. He tends to play on a fair bit.
He does.
Now he looks sideways, 45 degrees, but he's going to be outdone. So Stevens has been really good. Should hit the target. Didn't need the prop, but he had a look. Earl, is it?
The Duke.
Short again.
Menz
now. Can he shrug out of it? No, he can't. He has bought the ground and hurt as he's dragged down now. I think he was maybe dropped on his neck a little bit there. That's not good to see. So there might be a hold up in play here. He's not too good.
See if we can get a replay of that one, Alejandro, because Matthew Menz looks a bit sore there at the half-forward line. Ball is now just outside 50 for Unley. Bob's this way, Bob's that way. Tackles on, Stacks on the mill. Umpire about to bounce the ball, throw. They don't bounce it anymore, they're going to throw the ball up.
I think he's not good here, Menz.
And the Doc prepares for another contest against Big Rander.
He's got the flux capacitor working too. Look at him.
Scara again gives it to the Duke. The Duke tackled by Sam Cook, who's just come off the pine. Bit of congestion, boys. We are 15 minutes in. Going to be very difficult for Athelstone from here. They've got to take every risk they can possibly take, but Kabaz ends up with it. Now we're through the middle of the ground. Nice kick by Liam Draper. Searching. Unfortunately, it's only gone as far as the firefighter Riley Fairman.
Salt.
And he gets it back out towards Heaslip, who might be in contention for the beanie and the post-game interview. There's another Jet that's going down. When Menz went down, he almost became a raggy because they pulled up the jumper. And I think the Jets are wearing reversible jumpers. You put it the other side, and it's the same shade of blue.
This is Dermy Brereton.
Dermy's down.
Not down.
Next North Adelaide. Country boy.
This is probably what Unley don't want to have to deal with is injuries. Of course, they came in both sides with massive changes. Jets had 4 changes from last week. Athelstone had 5. Which is never really what you want to see when you're trying to put some momentum together. Whilst we have a break, just their road ahead next week. Athelstone, well, it doesn't get too much easier for them. How's this for a lineup? They travel to Park 9 to play Prince Alfred. Then they host St. Peter's and then travel to Goodwood. For only Mercedes, they get the win here. Next week, Payneham, Norwood Union and Port Districts. Two sides.
Couple of hard ones.
I mean, look, the skill level today hasn't been crash hot, but if they get up here, they're 2-2. They're in the mix.
They fancy their chances against Payneham, but I think they might be kidding themselves based on what we've seen here today.
Yeah.
Nice to see Langford back on the ground. Nice to see him finish off his game with a half a dozen, I think. Brereton, how is he? Big Benny?
He looks all right. As you said, he's come back on the ground. The trainers did a lot of work on his left groin there, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes up.
Right.
Left. So the player, what's happening with the player coming off there? Can you see, Ben?
Brereton.
Has he got boots on?
I've learned something today. Well, you got 2 groins.
Yes.
He does have boots on.
Left and right groin.
A doctor.
Who? The doctor. There is a doctor playing here today for Unley.
A doctor. Go to the stats there, Shawnee.
Yes,
What's it telling
Athelstone
us?
turnovers this quarter 11, boys. It's far too high for Division 1 football.
Yeah.
And inside 50s, Unley 11, Athelstone 2.
Whew.
Someone speak.
Okay, I'll take it.
The man stood on the burning
We've gone
deck.
around a big circle. So it's with the ruggies, with the ball. You can see the pace has gone out of the commentary and the game itself. 17 gone. It is Unley with a clear lead now. It's 5 goals or 3 goals, 12. Take your pick. Ruggies have it in the middle, and there's only about 5 players behind. One of those is about to get it now in.
Our mystery man.
Our mystery man, the Phantom. They did make some
Brody
changes.
Dickinson, is it?
No, he's
it's
always
not.
got
The crowd excited. We're awake again, and as is the course of the day, it's been marked by the opposition. Alistair sold his copped a little bit of extra for his trouble,
didn't he?
And the game slows down once again.
A little bit of pepper and salt on that one.
Yeah, and
Phil.
I'll tell you what,
He brought the salt, they brought the pepper.
Yeah.
he's been assaulted. So half-back flank it is. And he's look at big Randa coming on there. Oh, now he's going to fire up Blakey. Come on, Blakey. Hasn't quite got to you, mate. So might be a free kick if you stay there. Don't run away. No. Okay, so number 22 is Aaron Stewart. Nice left foot. Oh,
Kane
wouldn't
Newton.
you like to lead to that? Now, this is what they need to
That's a
do.
good kick.
2 pieces. Now, get a third one. Win the moment.
Oh.
Not with that one. That'll do. That's a set play. Never seen him. I don't know.
Ended
whether you
up with Alex
practice that.
Davies. That was
Alexander Davies. So Alexander, he's probably on the 50. Go the screwy again, son. No, unselfishly goes to the fat side, which is outnumbered 2-1. So not the smartest of kicks, but it was the captain Randa. So if you want to go next week, that's where you got to kick it. I tell you what, have a look. Blake Randa is sprinting across the other side. He's in the right position if they get it to him. He's picking up Doc Holler. Here it comes. I've been waiting all day and drops about 20 metres short. Trying to excite everyone.
Nick Stewart.
So Nick Stewart comes inside. Round now they've got the centre of the ground. This is
Around
the corridor,
outside,
Sean.
around the outside.
There he is, the big fella. Look at this is the effort I've been looking for from him. Don't tap the
Beautiful
opposition.
assist to the opposition.
Well, look, he's having a go. I don't mind that.
What's that?
Well done. He put the pressure on with the chase. That's good. Good work.
That's the kick I'm talking about. He just banged it. Langford led beautifully. He was in front of his player. All he had to do was plenty of grass in front of him. He just had to lower his eyes, punch the ball, but he just banged the ball in long. They're going to have to be better.
Working.
They're going to have to be better than that, Unley, if they're going to challenge some of the other sides. When you've got clear forward 50 entry, you've got to hit the grass there.
They're
anyway,
working well
Sam,
here.
Yep, Sam Cook's got it.
Yep.
True centre wing position, looking for options.
Oh, no.
Goes long. It's going to be on the fall, unfortunately, for Sammy.
The disappointing bit there, with that, they had momentum, and then it's knowing when to tempo, when to keep moving. They had momentum, just pulled up.
What
and
number is he?
Unfortunately, Sam Cook, 26,
no momentum.
is right here in front of us, about three metres away from us.
So they're going backwards now through Jack Lewis. Liked his game, Phil. I think he's been a good recruit for Unley Jets. He's quite neat and tidy with the ball. Nice if they could get in through the midfield and deliver. What they seem to lack is someone who can kick the ball into their forward 50.
Big grab.
Jack Lewis was their best on ground last week. I'm not sure if he'd be that this week. I reckon it might be this man in Skara. Just he seems to be in the setup. And he's kicked a couple of goals, including a crucial one early to sort of get that cushion back. It's with Jacob Earl.
The Duke.
He's been good
Shoot
too.
out this quarter thus far. Kick inside. Oh, nice one-hander. And whilst Langford lines up for this for maybe 5, let's go to Ben.
Just an update on Brereton, boys. He's been in the hands of the trainers ever since he's come off. They've been doing a lot of checks on his right knee, so hopefully he's okay there.
So good, the boy from Port
So
Pirie.
just checking with you, General. I've got Langford for 4 at the moment because he hit the post going for 5 before. I do have a final score. Div 5, Paraka have won.
They have all the points correct this
by
week?
19 as it stands right now.
Yeah.
Langford, he starts outside 50.
I say no.
Stutter once, stutter twice. At the 50-metre arc, he unleashes long and missed again. He could have had anything today. Unley, 11-16. That's 82. Athelstone, 8-3. That's 51.
And who did Paraka beat?
They
that
beat
our
Fitzroy.
Lockley's? No, Fitzroy.
11-14-80 to 9-7-61. A 19-point
barrel. No.
So, no, he's played on. It's a long kick. It's straight down the middle, but it's 2 kicks back if they get it. Well, there's one. This will be the second one as we talk. But bit of danger. No, he's not 100% confident. Fireman has the ball.
Don't make fun of people's names, please.
Yes.
No, it's the way it's spelled.
You're better than that, Tony.
Faehrmann. Throw me under the bus. Well, it's a trailer that
You're better than that Tony Neal, number 3.
So
Simon's out
Riley at his righty Faehrmann comes in, spins the ball a little bit, and I'll tell you what, he's got hold of it, kicked it to the teeth of goals.
No one wanted
comes out. I'll tell you what, is that going to be out on the full? I'm going to have to watch that on the camera. Just watch the IX35 view, blokes.
Just before we go to Jack, back to Tony, we have our first Div 1 final. Prince Alfred undefeated no more. Brighton have beaten them by 20 points.
Wow. Brighton,
there you go.
They're making a statement this year. Don't worry about that, boys.
And we will see them next week.
That is
Looking
correct.
forward to that one.
As Athelstone just comes short. Geez, that's going nowhere out wide. He's going to end up with us in a minute. Right down on the wing. The big fella there takes a good grab. Luke, it just plays on every time. Gives it to a player now. Long looping left-hander. Has to get back on his right now as Westover. He's had a fair bit of the ball, but just undoes with that kick. He's been really good, Kebab. So, Kabaz. Anyway, ball comes up.
Looking forward to one of those later on.
Back there is Dacked Kane Nerton. Take over, Sean. I'm Kabazed out.
Yep, there are 3 Kebab brothers playing. Chicken, lamb.
I wonder how many times they've had to put up with that.
And you
joke.
tell me not to make fun of names. Come on, you bloke.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
geez.
I want you making fun of
A
names.
little bit on there. Player hurt
Around
there.
the corner. Good contest. Under the ball, Liam Ryan, but...
on the full.
I think it's touched, but Liam Durden, no, on the full, the umpire said touched.
And our 15 boundary umpires to our left are just calling it as well.
Yep, the Athelstone crowd, they can obviously make the boundary line calls from where they're sitting. It's easy to see.
No one behind the rucks. Look at,
let's see how he goes throwing this ball in. He's ran a long way
Athelstone
away.
Players on their own.
Have to speak to Colin. That's a much better throw, though, this time. And Jack Holliday, the Doc, I've liked his game. He's going to be in contention for the best on ground against your man, Rander, Michael Variety, Neg, the Blake Rander it is.
That'll be the Cyrene.
Well, okay, we've got to quickly announce who the best on ground. For me, it's Tommy Langford.
How would you like to just go to the scores and a few other things first and we work our way through it?
Well, we've got to send our man Benny to go over and grab him, that's all.
Yeah, I didn't mind Langford, but he's down one end of the ground, I suppose. But I like Joshua Stevens. Andrew Kabaz, number 11 for me. Very good.
I was going to say Anthony
And
Scara.
Skara was serviceable, yep.
Okay. Make a decision.
So now, how do we decide this?
Well, I thought
Death Cage rematch.
the reason I chose Langford, I thought he was clearly the best big forward on the ground. Look, he's ended up with 4. He probably should have kicked 6, maybe 7. He battled well when the ball was on the ground. He moved around exceptionally well. I thought he was clearly the most influential player on the ground.
Well, I think the way we have to work it is Tony and I can have input.
Yes.
Which we have.
Yes.
And it's your call, Jacko.
Tommy Langford it is.
And I think he's got a
Tommy
good head
Langford.
for a beanie. So there you go. No, he gave him a focal point up forward, I agree. So probably the difference when you look at the scoreboard is only, 3 goals but a lot of points. But it didn't come back out. It stayed. Just here he is, Ben.
Tommy Langford, when you get a chance. All right, well, that completes the day. The final score here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in and watching us live here today, because at times it's been a challenge.
It has, and look, don't go anywhere. We're on air for about another half hour, Jacko.
Oh.
That's the good news. We've got to do your wrap. We know we can't interrupt that. We're going to have an interview with the player of the game. Tony's going to give some analysis as well, and we've got scores coming out of everywhere around the Adelaide Footy League this afternoon.
And Athelstone didn't score that quarter. Unfortunately.
That was a good pickup because, look, it wasn't the most glorious quarter of football we've seen. Only scored 3 goals too, but because Athelstone didn't score anything, it turns out to be a pretty easy win. 31 points, which means the winning amongst our tipping, we know everyone at home's really keen on this, is Tony. 2 in a row, and Jacko is buying next week. Good luck, Tony.
Yeah, good luck getting anything out of Jacko.
Yeah, I'll have a restaurant by the time you blokes get going.
What we might do is we've got a few things to catch up on. We're going to take our
Catch! Screaming good deals.
That's it, screaming good deals. I'm going to clear my eardrums.
Yep.
And we'll be back with the wrap, with the scores, with everything you need to know about the Adelaide Footy League, including an interview. Actually, no, we're going to stay. Sorry, Alejandro, because Ben, you can see our intrepid boundary rider. He works fast, Tony. He does.
Hello, Tommy. How are you, mate?
Alrighty, so let's go boundary. Let's go boundary. So you might have to step back as far as you can, and because the camera's up there. And Ben, you have our Dartfish player of the game.
I do, Tom Langford. Hard-fought game there today, mate. Talk us through the pressure on the field.
Yeah, obviously it's a big ground, so a lot of space out there, but I thought we transitioned the ball really well, but no, it was a bloody good win.
And the game was in the balance at three-quarter time. What was the message?
I think we're a bit wasteful with our possession, trying to rush it a bit, so I think the message from Kano was just to slow it down a bit and take a bit more control and, I suppose, stop their run.
And 2-2 for you boys now. That really sets up your season?
Yeah, massively. It was a must-win game for us today, obviously with the shortened season. Every win's crucial, so it was good to get the win.
And Payneham Norwood Union next week. What do you expect from that game?
Always a tough side to play. Obviously, I've played a couple of years there, so know to expect, but no, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good.
Good one. And your own form today, looked like you had a good one?
Yeah, mate, it's a big ground, so like I said, I'm pretty tired, but no, it was good to get on the end of a few and work on some kicking during the week, I think.
Absolutely. So player of the match gets the Dartfish beanie, so you can wear that back to the pub tonight. Thanks for coming over and interviewing with us.
Thanks for having me, boys. Cheers.
Good on you, Tommy.
Tommy Langford.
Well done, Tommy.
Well, he was certainly the key target up forward. Could have had a bit more, but I guess when you end up with being the leading goal scorer of the day, you're going to be in contention. And don't the players love those Dartfish beanies?
And you know what happens? Invariably, we give the best players to the midfielders. You know, it's like the Brownlow and the McGarry. They're all midfielders that get it all the time. And whilst I identify with the midfielders, I think it's nice to recognise, and we have done that. 2 of the 4 games now we've given to key forwards. Can't remember who the other one was that we gave.
Jolly.
You don't have to justify why you're
Jolly's
sure.
no, he's a midfielder.
Nah, he was good.
We gave a key forward one in one
Oh,
of the
the first game, McCullum, I think.
Yeah, well, he's a half-back flanker, so I'll have to go and do my
For
homework.
John.
Yes, for John. Anyway, good game from Tommy Langford today, and he's been a very valuable pickup for the Unley Mercedes Jets. And it's a handful, isn't it, Unley Mercedes Jets?
So how many clubs has he been at, Sean? He's been 1 or 2 sample?
Yeah, Nord and North, and then Payneham. And as I said, I think he thought, well, they certainly thought his days were over at Payneham with a knee injury, but he then went to Foss Camden last year and finds himself this year at Unley Jets. Much travelled, much loved, and he's a big unit.
He is. One of the notes I had there was he's a really good focal point for them up forward. So if you can keep the ball in, it's reward for the hard work the midfielders do. You get it down forward and he clunks those marks, gives them just time to go, I'll take a breath. It doesn't come back out.
Well, how many marks can you remember Athelstone taking in the back 50 today? Wasn't many, was it? Wasn't many. So they were able to, if they didn't mark it, they brought the ball to ground, didn't they?
They did indeed. Alrighty, we might catch our breaths, take a short break, get our stats together, give a chance for Tony and Jacko to prepare their post-game analysis, myself to collate all the scores around the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to catch.com.au, screaming good deals, this Sports Interactive production, collaborating with Filming Footy. Hope you're enjoying Matchday Live.
Hi folks, well we're joined by Josh Giddings from the Pulteney Football Club. Thanks very much for coming down, Josh. Great to have you here.
Tony. Cheers.
I won't go into it, one of my old clubs, but
One of
few years back. Yes, that's correct.
I've been watching these videos, mate.
Oh, mate. So listen, how long have you been captain of the club?
Took over last year. I'm actually co-captain with Dalton Tucker. He's looking after his son tonight, so he can't be here. But we both took it over from Chris Rollins last year.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Big roles, club stalwart, mate, of course.
Absolutely,
played his whole career there, I reckon. And
great leader.
Great bloke. So, do you have an expanded leadership group along with captain, vice captain, and deputy vice captain?
Yeah, we got a couple of us in there, so I think there's about 3 or 4 other boys in there that will be able to share the load around. So that should be real helpful.
Excellent. Do you have this is a good one, Matthew. Do you have a pre-game address now? Do you do it in the rooms? Do you do it on the ground? Or do you have two bites at the cherry?
So for me, I'm definitely not a planned person. I'm more of a I'll pick the vibe and I'll say what I need to say when I need to say it. When I believe it's the right time to say something, I'll chime into the boys. But I don't sort of like to be controlling. I like to let the boys sort of focus in and do their thing, and then when I think I need to settle them in or get them razzed up, I come in to do that as a leader.
That's very good. There's an art to reading people and reading teams and body language. You don't just say, well, it's 5 minutes to go, so I'm going to do it now.
That's exactly right.
You go by the feel in the rooms and so on, and of course you've got a co-captain that you'll be discussing that with as well.
And players tend to take to that a lot better. They tend to take that a lot better as opposed to every week, this time, you say this thing sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a bit monotonous. So,
wow, good on you. Yeah, I really love that attitude. What is your Saturday pre-game meal or drink? So we'll start again with yourself, Ren.
Yeah, I'll probably just bake an egg sandwich in the morning. I always like to have a couple of killer pythons or something just before the game. But
oh, yeah. Oh, jeez.
Not too much else because I get a bit crook in the guts as well.
Yeah, full of sugar, mate.
Yeah, you need a little bit of a buzz sometimes.
And Josh?
Yeah, we're running a bit of a similar diet, I think. I usually have eggs on toast and then get stuck into a bag of snakes before the game.
Wow. Well, as I said, premiership, guys. So get on to the snakes if you want to win a premiership. There you go. Interesting one here. So we'll start with you, Sean. What position do you play, and how does this affect your communication with the rest of the team?
Yeah, I just play on the ball mostly, and basically because I get to get around the whole ground, I end up organising most centre ball ups and give everyone on the team a bit of a bake every now and again. So yeah, basically get to talk to everyone, which is good on field.
Yep. And Adam?
Similar. Been midfield for a fair few years, but probably slowly slipping forward now a bit more.
Yeah.
So it's probably good to have both of us sort of. We switch through there a fair bit, and been able to communicate on ball, a bit up forward, get the guys moving up there, creating some spaces.
No, that's good. Do you clean them out when you're up forward and just say, leave it up to me, boys? Fantastic. Yeah. How would you like your leadership to be remembered? You know, 15, 20 years down the track, you're at a reunion. They're saying, yes, Ruby was in our leadership group back in 2020. What do you think they'll be saying about you? Did you encourage the young ones? Did you lead by example?
Hopefully something good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to be known as leading by example. Well, I'm coaching the under-12s, so hopefully they remember that I was like a part of the development at the club, and
Fantastic. Well, if you play long enough, you certainly look young enough to play long enough, you'll be playing with some of those girls that
hopefully,
you're coaching now.
I'd love to do that.
In a nice way, so that 6 years' time, they'll be 18 and you'll be playing with them, and that will be very fruitful for yourself and for the club.
Yeah.
So fantastic.
That would be cool.
Just an interesting one. Your position? What position do you play on game day?
Throughout centre, but mainly on the wing.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're a speedy one up and down the ground.
I try.
Yeah. Do you like going forward and kicking goals, or do you like to go forward but you also need a captain to be down back?
Yeah, I love getting a few goals. I'm not very good at it, but give it a good hot crack.
Get down, as we were talking there before, if you get within 40, 50 metres and the big white post come up, well, why not have a look?
Yeah, it's a bit far for me at the moment.
Yeah, do you play on the Adelaide Uni grounds as well?
Yeah.
I can remember. How many teams at your club, including men's and women?
So in the men's seniors, we've got the 4 teams, including 18s, and then in the women's, we have the 2 senior and the 1 18. So they're going well. And
the women's quite strong down there, isn't it? You've got, of course, we'll name drop, but Greg Phillips is coaching the women. So have you had any interaction with the women teams in regards to training?
Yep, definitely. We like to call our club like a A1 club sort of thing.
Great.
So we always we have a couple of sessions during the year to mingle in and make everyone feel welcome. So,
look, that's the unique thing about being a local footy league, isn't it? And it's integration, and it's one club off the field. I love hearing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Brent, what is your Saturday morning pre-game breakfast?
I usually go with a bit of Wheat Bix and always a banana. And just
good.
a Gatorade, and there I go.
Yep. How would you like your captaincy to be remembered down the track when the players all have a reunion? They say, Jack Green, what a captain he was. What are they going to be saying about you?
Oh, look, I'd hope they'd think that I'm a pretty approachable guy, someone that's relatable to. I mean, I like to think there's nothing too special about me at all. So I hope, if nothing else, the boys in the team can look at me and think, he works hard, hopefully, and yeah, that's why I hope to believe that the club just a hard worker and approachable guy. So
Your legacy. How would you like your captaincy to be remembered down the track at the reunions?
Yeah, I'd love to be remembered as a bloke who brought everyone together, the A's, B's, C's and the 18s, just real community, approachable sort of bloke that, brought everyone together, and possibly a premiership captain as well.
Oh, very good. I like it. All right, Jared, thank you very much for coming down, mate, and best wishes for the season moving forward.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got some Division 1 scores. We'll give you the other divisions shortly, but Brighton have handed Prince Alfred their first defeat at Brighton Oval. You can see a close game. Rocks defeated St. Peter's, so there's another... I reckon that might be the other way around. Just give me a quick sec.
No, that's what you called earlier.
That's what I called earlier,
Yep.
and I called correctly. No, it is Rocks who beat St. Peter's. Better check we get this right. Port District have defeated Payneham Norwood Union, so Port District entrenched themselves further into the top 5, and we're waiting for the carrier pigeon to get from Uni Oval to give us the final score there. Adelaide Union, Goody Saints, someone's got to win unless there's a draw.
Port District, the big movers.
No surprise for me there, boys. I picked them at home, Largs Reserve. We were pretty impressed with them last week.
They are indeed. We'll give you some other scores around the Adelaide Footy League shortly. But, gentlemen, the game that we had here, the score that really matters, our broadcast game, Unley Mercedes Jets. Look, it wasn't pretty, but they got there in the end. 11-16-82. Athelstone 8-3-51. Scoreless in the final quarter when they'd worked hard to get within range. Your thoughts on the contest?
Is that what it was? A contest, indeed it was. And it ebbed and flowed, didn't it, really, the game? We probably thought at three-quarter time that Athelstone were a real chance to win their first game of the season at home, going with the breeze, the crowd starting to build towards a crescendo, but unfortunately they just didn't give a whimper in the last quarter. Athelstone didn't get a ball on score at all, I don't think, in the last quarter, and hardly got the ball inside their 50, Tony.
Well, you're correct, Sean. They kicked 3 goals in the last half, and they were all in the third quarter. So only 3 scoring shots after half-time, whereas Unley Mercedes were 4-11 at half-time and 11-16. So they kicked, 7 goals, 5. So they had, 12 scoring shots to 3 after half-time. But the tale was even told prior to that, so it was 15 shots to 8 prior to half-time even. I guess a couple of the things, the skills weren't the highest. We noticed that today, but I guess Unley, in the end, if we had to, came out the winner with their skills, just in that passages of play towards the end of the game, they kept hitting targets, as opposed to, you saw a lot of the Athelstone players bending down, trying to mark a ball near the ground, if not dropping a metre or 2 short. And one of the players there, Luke Rander, I think he must just about tear his hair out. He's giving a good lead, and it's either sitting on top of your head and you're going to get crunched, or it's a metre short. And that's, for a tall guy, you've got to get below your knees, and that's very hard to do. Passages of play were one of the other key points I looked at today, and we didn't really see a lot of. There was one point where Unley Mercedes kicked a point and Athelstone took it from one end to the other, but I reckon that was the only time we saw it today.
Yeah, very few and far between the full ground transitions, weren't they? D50 to F50, Tony.
And you're going from a point here across to a wing and come back, and you've actually made 30 metres length up the ground. You've maintained possession. Then that next kick comes in, and it's a bomb from both teams, and it comes undone.
Yeah, look, I've probably raised this a few times during the course of the game, but I came here with high expectations based on the fact that the weather was so nice. This is the nicest day we've had. And, look, I'm with you, Tony. I'm pretty disappointed in the skill level across the game. The pressure was okay from both sides, and clearly Unley had a good key focal point up front with Langford, who we gave the best player on the ground to. But, yeah, the turnovers from both sides, they're the things they're going to need to work on. Lowering the eyes going forward. Even Unley, bomb the ball far too much. But Athelstone, same thing. Need to lower their eyes and punch the ball. And it's a big oval here. It is a big oval, and that's the thing. The sort of game we saw today, I'd understand seeing that on Goodwood Saints oval. But here, where there's plenty of space, I just thought that the transition into the front 50 should have been a lot better by both sides.
Well, one of the things I wrote down here, which you just touched on in the focal point, he's our best player on the ground, of course, but with the big fella there, Tom Langford, the difference is the ball comes in and you keep it in and your midfield gets a little bit of a breather, a rest, a chance to set up. He kicks a goal 9 times out of 10, did kick a couple of points, but at least you can set up. The trouble is when you're working for Athelstone, you work that ball down, and I look at Jake Westover, he had a lot of possessions through the midfield there, maybe turned a few over, yes, but it's damning when it goes down and then it comes straight back out again, and you've got to work hard again to get that next ball back in, and that becomes hard work physically, but also mentally it becomes draining.
And it wasn't a case of either side playing with a spare in the back half. Most of the game was played on a one-on-one terms all over the ground, which I liked and appreciate, and it's better to watch. So we can't blame it on that. It really just, I guess what you've got to keep saying to yourself if you're an Athelstone supporter is, they had 7 or 8 kids in their side today or in their first year of A-grade footy.
You're correct there,
it's going to take a while for them to acclimatise. It's unfair, really. It is unfair to push that many players into an A-grade side together. Ideally, 3 or 4 is plenty in 1 year over the course of a year. But to go 7 or 8 in the first 4 rounds is a reflection of where Athelstone are, unfortunately. And I guess the good thing for them is this is a free kick this year, so these games are going to be valuable learning experiences for their young lads. And if they can build on that next year, keep the group together and add some recruits, then they'll be much better for it.
So there's a lot of changes, as you said. Have you got your scores there to go, Phil?
I have, mate. I'm just waiting on a couple of key ones. I want to hear what happens to Flinders Park and Plimpton, both who's going to get a win first. We have some stats, so maybe, gentlemen, digest these for us.
Yeah, well, okay, so the thing you'll notice that's is different to the rest of the game is the last quarter. So to the right of the screen there was a slight breeze, maybe worth 1 or 2 over the course of the day, and the side going with that breeze had all of the inside 50s until 3/4 time, and then in the last quarter the game turned on its head. Unley were able to get 15 inside 50s into the breeze, even though the breeze had dropped off a little bit. Conversely, Athelstone were only able to get the ball 4 times inside their 50. So it looked like, and this is the thing, when you're a young up-and-coming side, you pride yourself in trying to hang in for as long as you can. And in talking to some of the Athelstone people, they say this has been their trend over the first 3 weeks, that they've been in games for a half and then been smashed in the second half. Today, the good thing is they'll be able to walk in the club tonight and have a beer and say, boys, we were in it till 3/4 time.
That's a big telling stat, actually, isn't it, when you look at that?
But they've been able to keep the game on, within reach for 3/4, and that's a big improvement for them. And when you're in this predicament, and Chris Redetti's a first-year coach, it's tough. You're searching for that first win. You've got to find some green shoots, some areas that you're happy with, and that'd be one area that you'd be saying to the boys today.
I spoke to Coach Redetti before the game today, and he mentioned one of the things they'd been working on was when the opposition gets a run on, was to slow it down.
Yep.
To basically slow it down when they get a run on, so they don't have a team kicking 4 or 5 goals back to back. Suffice to say, they pretty much did that today. Only never really had 10 minutes of domination where they banged on a bag.
Yep, you're correct.
Look, it's hard to say whether the Athelstone were able to stay in the game for such a long period on the back of their tenacity, or was it on the back of Unley Jet's inability to be able to transition the ball from one end to another cleanly. And it's probably a combination of both.
The other bit that was interesting, a small high point if you like, they didn't give up on their tackles. You see those stats that came up, they were outdone in all areas, but their tackles are only 1 less tackle in the last quarter, and I see they had 32 for the game, so Unley did have a fair few more. But we saw a lot of that with the game, and I think if you put the ball on the ground, that is going to happen at times. So that was an interesting one. They didn't give up on their tackling pressure, but just talking about pressure, sometimes in the game, we spoke about this at halftime, there's pressure and there's perceived pressure, and you get the ball in your hand and no one's near you for 3 or 4 metres. If you're a midfielder, that's called time and space. If you're on the wing, that's called closed space. So when you've got that time and space, the players that get through to the top or work their way through to become better players are the ones that know what to do in that time when you are under pressure and deliver the ball as opposed to miss a target.
Well, there's the difference between a seasoned Division 1 footballer and Anthony Scara. He spent a lot of his career at Goodwood Saints. You saw that every time he got the footy, then when he had time, he was able to deliver the ball. And at Division 1 level, that's what you need to be able to do. We all understand there are times in the game where you're going to be under pressure and just a bang on the boot is a good result. But it's when you've got that time and space that you have to be able to deliver. And unfortunately, both sides had far too many players who, given time and space, weren't able to finish with their delivery.
So, two things there. One, he has got very good skill.
Yep.
But when he's got the ball, he's almost a little bit like, what's his name at Collingwood there? That
Pendlebury?
Yes. He actually looked like he was almost in slow motion. He had the time as well.
Yep.
So, Phil, we've got some scores.
Might be wise. Just we'll go through the different grades. I don't know if Alejandro can get up the Div 1 scores again, but there were some very good results around, some close games around the league in Division 1, including bit of an upset there. Brighton defeating Prince Alfred, the premiership favourites, incur their first loss, and Ross Trevor beating St Peters. So we get Brighton and St Peters next week at Catter Oval. Then in the first 5 weeks, we've seen all 10 Division 1 clubs, so the schedule worked out.
Sorry to interrupt, but that is not a clash of the undefeateds. Cause
it's not.
No.
I had thought St Peters had beat Rocks, but I'm happy to be wrong in that one.
Yep.
Port Districts, as mentioned, have made their move, defeating the Falcons, and all of a sudden it's looking... Falcons are 1-3. They're going to have to get a wriggle on if they want to play finals and defend their flag. And we're still waiting on something from Adelaide Union Goody Saints.
And, you know, the exciting thing about that, Phil, is the last so many years, other than Tea Tree Gully, it's been Payneham, Ross Trevor, Prince Alfred. Now, all of a sudden, we've got St Peters legitimate challengers to the top 3. We've got Brighton as a legitimate challenger to the top 3. And we've got Port Districts banging on the door. So we don't have a clear-cut top 3, let alone top 5 at this stage.
Yeah, and I actually think you've just given us the top 5. Some other scores around the other grades. In Div 7, we do have one result. It was Adelaide Lutheran, 117-point winners over Central United. I think it's looking like Adelaide Lutheran and Bramah Lodge in the grand final. Unless Crabs from Flinders Uni can do something.
That's the second week they've had a big win because they beat the Crabs last week. So my poor old, well, not my poor old, my beautiful Division 7 teams are just rolling along, but there's some big scores there.
The Luthies.
Adelaide Lutheran. Have you seen their oval? It's about 3/4 the size of this.
Is it?
Nice little oval in the parklands there.
Yes, indeed, the South Parkland. St Paul's in the Powerade Division 6 remain undefeated. 69-point winners over Mawson Lakes. I actually thought it might be a bigger result than that, given how Mawson Lakes have been struggling. But St Paul's, what's that, 20, 21 now?
In a row.
They're looking pretty good. And
looking good,
Blackfriars, who incurred a loss to Hectorville, are back on the winners' board. 13 over Elizabeth. So the Eagles were competitive at St Dominic's Oval, where, of course, Blackfriars are.
Steve Johnson's 600th game today for Elizabeth.
Yeah, wow.
In the paper today, Jono.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I saw a little bit on Facebook, but I don't subscribe, so...
Tight.
The 9 News Division 5, some rather bigger results here. Lockleys took care of Smithfield by 99 points.
After the show, that's what's
Yeah,
happening.
so they were fired up.
Out there, folks.
On the back of between the posts.
Yeah.
Kenilworth took care of Colonel Gardens by 57.
That would have been interesting.
Salisbury are getting a wriggle on. They beat West Croydon by 72, and that was at Fork Reserve.
Sorry?
Fork, the home of the Hawks.
Oh, Fork.
The Hawk, they were going right too, West Croydon.
Right.
Wow.
And we
the
mentioned
Maggies.
earlier, Paraka defeated Fitzroy. So I'll give
At this stage.
At this stage.
Paraka.
Well, all results are at this stage, and I realise I've got to go back through the tipping because I've probably given the Paraka wins as the tipping. I've got to go and reverse those games. So
I was just going to say, you just going back through the tipping without our knowledge.
Yeah.
And then I wonder why you're 10 ahead already.
Anytime you want to audit the tipping, gentlemen, you want to
We'll
waste
have a
hours of your life, you are.
If I don't win, we'll have it
welcome.
forensically examined.
Exactly. Pembroke and Pulteney in Div 4.
Here we go, a draw.
59-point win to the Kings of Pembroke.
Tony Neal Cup.
They are undefeated.
Yeah, it would be
And
too.
Jeps Cross in a battle of one-win teams took care of Woody South by 66 points. Now you've got some Div 2 and Div 3 scores there between you gentlemen to share if you want.
That's you, Sean.
Oh, righto.
See if you can read my handwriting.
I'll try. Tea Tree Gully in a shock result 5 goals. I'm not sure if that says 5 goals.
5-6, that is, Sean.
5-6, 36 to 11-10, 76. So Sacred Heart, I was a little bit unsure about Sacred Heart at the start of the year, but here it is from me right here, boys. We all picked, 2 of us did anyway, Tea Tree Gully to win the premiership. Get on Sacred Heart. Get on Sacred Heart. When they're up and about, they're going to be the side to beat, providing they don't get injuries. Tea Tree Gully, I think, I assume that they would be a class above in Division 2, but some of the results over the last few weeks suggest they are just in the pack.
Seaton got them last week, Sacred Heart this week.
Correct.
Might have mentioned that earlier on in the year, Sean, and there was a bit of ridicule at the old boy.
You didn't have them in the 5, did you?
No.
Well, they'll be in the 5. That's why you're getting ridiculed.
Well, hang on.
That's why you're getting ridiculed. Foss Cannon, 18-10. Continued Glenunga's woeful run in Division 2.
Wow.
10 goals, 8. So they've got up by 8 goals and 2 points. So that's 50 points in total. And Division 3, do you want to do them, Tone, or do you want me to keep going?
No, you're right. This is interesting. I'll just add in some little, there goes a
inside.
bird or a dog bark. Or
Golden
you
Grove,
like,
who were 4-0 before today, played Westminster, who were 1-2. Golden Grove 18-16, smacked Westminster 11-7.
7 goals, 9, Sean.
Correct. Good boy, good maths. And North Haven, who I think are going to be one of the sides thereabouts without any doubt. Saw Mark Tyler out going for a bit of a fast walk a couple of days ago as well, the ex-coach.
Their score.
14-21, took care of Edwardstown. 8 goals, 7. The Daniel Pearce led Edwardstown. They won by 50 points, North Haven.
Is Mark Tyler, is he still coaching down
No,
there?
he's not.
Is he goal-kicking coach? Because he might want. He's one of the champions of the Sandful. He might just want to wander out if they've kicked 21 points. Go on, Phil.
Well, gentlemen, as much as we would love to talk way into the evening, I mean, we were doing the football show dedications, all your requests of coaches and players, but it all has to end sometime. Better be now. So time to go around and give our thank yous. Ben Tippett on the boundary. Ben, you've been patiently watching. Any final words?
No, it's been a great day for footy, boys. Lovely to have some sun and some dry weather football. Very enjoyable today.
Thanks for that, Ben. We'll see you at St. Peter's next week.
And just on that, Benny, I don't know who he picked, but Benny was here and Benny and the Jets were here.
Benny and the Jets.
Thank you.
Go on, Phil. It'll be midnight. It'll be midnight.
Thank you for your efforts.
Coffee is. Thank you very much once again, one and all.
Jacko, thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Started out a little bit.
And thanks to Alejandro, Brody, and the gentleman who I always forget on top of the van. Thank you for that.
No, Brody's here.
Lockie, Brody, and there's one other. And Liam, thank you, Liam.
What's he doing up there,
for
Liam?
your efforts. Alrighty, thanks of course to our sponsors, catch.com.au, screaming good deals. This was the OTR Division 1 match of the day. And Sports Interactive Production collaborating with Filming Footy. Between the posts during the week, Wednesday night, we'll be back 2 o'clock Saturday for a pretty big game. St. Peter's hosting the undefeated Brighton Bombers. We'll see you next week. Good night.